Yes, hello and welcome to another episode of Life Talks with Fawole. We have the voice behind the camera. No, we have the wizard. And we have my G, Ansu, my brother in the studio. Happy to have you. Happy to have you.
Happy to be here. Happy to be here.
My G.
Thank you.
So I was going to say this podcast today is sponsored by Real Focus. Real Focus podcast. This is Frank's podcast. My G, aka So No Days Off. Go and check it out if you ain't seen it already. He's doing big things, educating people and telling some real truth. Also, another sponsor, Love Life Family Clothing. Come on. Ansu, what's going on?
I just need to know,
Yeah.
Are you sponsored by the sunglasses as well? Or is this like
why, Ansu? The sunglasses are Prada, so I was going to say something, you know?
They're Prada, yeah.
I was sponsored by Prada, I'll be like,
you're looking good. I was just like, because obviously for a bit of the last podcast, the shades were on. So I was like, okay, is this a special podcast now? Or?
It's like, what I have to say, for those who don't know, the last podcast was with this lovely man's partner. She's amazing and everything. In her own right. Fantastic, amazing person. And I have to be very careful because I see her face is straight. It's like, yeah, he's got this gun on the table. I have to be careful. However, you, to me, are a star. You shine like a star. You have your own illumination. Hence the glasses and
I was gonna say.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's shining the way you're shining. Sometimes it can be blinding, so I need to be able to.
But are these just bars in order that you can wear your sunglasses?
Huh?
Or are these just bars in order that you can wear your sunglasses? Or what?
You tell me.
I don't know, man.
All right, boom. No, listen, wait. How many plays have you done?
Plays?
Yeah.
I've got no idea.
You have no idea?
No idea.
What classic plays have you done?
Othello. Oh man, you're putting me on the spot now. These are all years ago. Othello, Hamlet, Romeo and Juliet. As You Like It. Windsor, Merry Wives of Windsor.
TV,
classical plays.
Anything TV.
Or just TV generally. Recently did The Sandman, did a show called Miss Scarlet and the Duke, which actually isn't even finished, it's still on. And the third season I think is coming out soon. World on Fire, Long Song, they're both BBC. I can't remember any others right now.
Yeah, films?
Did a Disney film which is coming out like either next year or 2020. You know, it's just take ages
So now you answer my question. Am I just saying that you're a star to put my glasses on? No way. Am I just saying you're a star to put my glasses? Or are you a star? In my eyes, you're a star. We started together, or somewhat together, aligned at the beginning of our acting careers. We've worked together. Yeah. We're good friends. I like to say you're my brother.
Together, actually, I've done it twice.
We did Romeo and Juliet together. We're good friends. I consider you to be my brother.
Yeah.
So, you know what?
Leave the glasses on.
Thank you. I was like, So I'm over my rights to say that you're a star. You're a star for me, and you shine bright. Your spirit is amazing. Your energy is fantastic. You're loyal. You're humble. You're empathetic. You're sympathetic. You're understanding. You know what I mean? You're dedicated. You're tenacious. There's so much things, bro. Like, and whether or not you are aware, which you might be aware or not, but this is how I perceive you. And there's even more. Like, think Goliath. And then times it by a couple. You get me? You're my guy, man. You know what I'm saying? So afterwards, I had to wear the glasses. I'm gassing you up a little bit, but it's all true.
I appreciate that. No, I appreciate that. You are my brother, but like at the same time, I'm just like, you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, I just try my best. We all just try our best. I don't need to. It's you know, I appreciate it very, very much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it very, very much. And yeah, like I think very, very, very highly of you. That's the thing. That's all that really counts as far as I'm concerned. I definitely appreciate all the compliments. But you know, like you said it, and I believe you. And then when we go on to the next subjects, even before I leave, I'll almost forget that you said that because it's like at the end of the day, we're brothers. I know that the love is there. I know that the respect is there, and the appreciation, and we have history as well. You know, even if we're not talking to each other every day, seeing each other every day, the history is enough. So when we come, it's like, you know, like we never left.
Yeah, definitely.
Just carrying where we left off.
Definitely.
But even like, say, like carrying on where we left off, but actually even really, sorry, this is making noise, isn't it? Where should I put this? Here?
Put it wherever you want.
You tell me what to do. The wizard. What is it?
Parliamentary.
Yeah, like it's interesting, isn't it? Like when you have people that you don't necessarily see all the time, talk to all the time, kind of thing, but you know you have a connection, and you know even though we're growing sometimes separately, we come back and you feel like we've grown in the same sort of direction. So it's all good.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we're gonna, because this is called Life Talks, we're gonna talk to you about your life and everything.
Yeah.
So I want to start at relatively the beginning and ask you what you was like as a child. And I feel bad, and I want to take the glasses off so I can see you clearly, like, because I want to have all, I want to be full of. In fact, I want to take the hat off too. I'll keep your hoodie on, Frank. Don't worry. For now. Yeah.
What was I like as a child?
Yeah.
As a child, like probably the main thing that you would think of when you think of me as a child, like people who would describe me as a child at the time would probably say he's really shy. That was one of the main things you would get from me. Like he's very intelligent, very mature and shy. And like, you know, shyness, I think oftentimes it's like a defense. It's, well, for me at least anyway, I see in some people, shyness is largely a defense mechanism, really, kind of, because you got so much going on inside and you just don't want to reveal it. And so you have to protect yourself somehow. So I was very shy growing up until, I mean, I have my moments like everybody, but until kind of training to be an actor. Actually, you know what actually really kind of opened me up was 16 years old, summer holiday after GCSE time, doing door-to-door sales. That was
Get
like
the door slammed in your face a couple of times, yeah?
More than a couple. Like the majority of the time, you know. That's like a baptism of fire. And so if you can get through that, then like what is there really to be scared of in terms of just interacting with people? That's what kind of started me off in a direction where it wasn't such a big deal. But yeah, like as a child, I think most people would say, oh, he's really shy.
But then what you said, the definition of why you were shy was very interesting and very beautiful, because someone might think someone's shy because of fear or inhibition or some other thing, but you said you were shy because you had a lot going on inside that you just wanted to keep to yourself, basically. Yeah,
like, but it's still fear, I think, really, probably for most, maybe all people, I don't know, but for me, for sure, it's still fear, because it's like you've got loads going on inside, but and you feel like if you expose that, if anybody sees that, they're going to judge you and say, oh, you're not smart, or you're not funny, or you're dumb, you're stupid, or you're weak, or whatever it is. So rather than anybody being able to say that about me, you just kind of, you know, stone face. You can't read me. Like if you become somebody that can't be read, then you can't judge me. That's the idea. Do you know what I mean? But you know, really and truly, at the end of the day, people, if they want to talk about you, they're going to talk about you, no matter what you do. Whether you try and please them or you don't try and please them, they're going to talk about you. So you might as well just be yourself.
Haters gonna hate.
Yeah.
Haters gonna hate.
Yeah. Like, and also like, people also will say, like, haters gonna hate, but people also sometimes say really positive things about you, and sometimes they're not true, really. But because they don't know, all they've seen is what they see, and people have to. So, like, you know, just try and be.
Give me an example
of a positive.
Yeah.
About me.
Just in general, it can be misconstrued, because that's interesting, that train of thought where someone could, rather than it being derogatory, they could say, oh yeah, he's really intelligent, he's really smart, you know, he could really do it, but you're nothing nowhere near what they say you are.
Well, like, for example, but I don't want to be too negative, because like I don't want people to start thinking, oh yeah, but like
people, they're going to think what they're going to think.
Yeah, you just said that. You literally just said that. No, but sometimes somebody might like do something nice to someone, like might say, for example, this is a proper cliche, but a man who's got a family may in public do nice things like give to charity, talk to people, help people out, go around to old ladies and men's houses and help them out with the whatever they're doing in the home or whatever, because they can't walk properly or they're not, you know what I mean, not completely able. But then go home and they treat their family really badly, or just don't give them any kind of attention at all. Maybe they're spending all their money outside on other people, doing good to other people, but at home they're not spending their money on the family to make sure they have what they need to have a decent life, you know. But on the outside, they're doing good things. So someone looking at that from the outside will say, "Oh, he's such a good person. He's very charitable. He does this, whatever." But if he's not charitable to his own family, then, especially if he's, you know what I mean, if he's the main breadwinner and he's not charitable within his own home, then how good is he really? You see what I mean? So that's just the kind of, that's an example, but I didn't know you were going to ask me for it.
Yeah, I'm asking all sorts of questions. All sorts of questions.
Obviously, like, that's the kind of thing where there are a billion examples, but so it's kind of, you know, it's almost redundant to even give the one example, but like, if you ask for an example, I guess that's an example.
Family, your brothers and sisters. Sorry, sister.
Yeah, I got one sister who's 18 months younger than me.
Okay.
And yeah, we were born in Islington. No, Winton Hospital.
Good old Islington, same as me. I was born in Winton.
Of course.
Yeah, come on. It says something. Any given time, I want to tell you what it goes. If I like something you say, I think it's poignant or whatever, I'm going to ask for 3, yeah? You give me a hand. 1, 2, 3. His hand is strong. He could take it. Yeah.
Well, some people are like,
your wife was like, he needs to ease up with that. You're hitting a bit too hard, softly.
The thing is, she'll tell you as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's not like, I'm on camera, but it's like, fair enough. She'll be like, come on, ayo.
She went like that.
Yeah. She's not stupid. Well, you see, like, most people, like, under the table are like, oh, man.
Afterwards.
Well, that's if something you like, you have to do the free claps.
Yeah, you'll know when it's coming sometimes. You better feel it coming too as well. Right, cool. Come on.
You're better to feel it coming.
Yeah, you'll understand afterwards.
You know what you mean? Pause.
Pause.
You have to feel it coming.
You'll understand.
That's what he said. You'll understand.
You'll understand. Don't worry.
You'll understand one day.
You'll understand. No, soon.
Yeah.
Soon.
Sorry, what you asking?
What you getting good at? I got it.
I felt it.
Go on.
What you asked me again? I can't even remember. Sister. Yeah, is that what it was?
Siblings. Yeah. 18 months younger.
Yeah, 18 months younger. We're both born in Islington.
Whittington Hospital.
Yeah, Whittington Hospital.
How was childbirth for you?
I don't remember it. I assume it was alright.
You made it. You made it.
I actually was born with a hole in the heart. You know that condition. Oh, wow. Yeah, have you heard about that? It's quite common apparently. But
I've heard about people having a hole in the heart. But
yeah, be born with a hole in the heart. Yeah. I was born with a hole on the heart, and yeah, that's all. Like from what my mum told me.
Do you still have a hole in your heart?
No. They fix it. It's quite a common thing, so they can fix it quite easily. And that was that. But that's all I really know about my birth. But I think it was all right apart from that, really.
What school did you go?
Primary school was Laycock.
Cool, blimey, he's in the manor.
Yeah. Where'd you go?
Grafton.
Where's Grafton again? Oh, Grafton.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, Seven Sisters Road down there,
Yeah. I was like, wait,
Seven Sisters Road, yeah.
Okay.
Because Laycock's around, where's it, near Angel?
Highbury.
Yeah, I know, I knew Laycock.
Angel, yeah.
But still, to me, it's in the manor. I went to Green Secondary School, so.
I went at Central Foundation.
Okay.
Yeah.
You was a bit more upmarket. They wouldn't have me.
Seriously though?
Yeah.
What do you mean? But I thought
Highbury Grove wouldn't have me. They wouldn't have me.
But how do they know what, like, primary school age? From primary school?
Yeah, Central Foundation is secondary school.
Yeah, but how do they know from primary school that you're not the kind of person that can come into our secondary school at 11 years old?
I got suspended at least 3 times or 4 times from primary school. Yeah. I don't want to talk about the reasons I got suspended, but yeah, I got suspended a few times, and I had a colourful report. So when they looked at it, I had a very colourful report.
Yeah, but for a second, that's mad though. When you think about it, for a secondary school not to take a kid at 11 years old because they think he's or she's already a bad behaved child. Do you know what I mean? Like what's school for, really? Like they're already
Mate,
thinking about their league table and all that kind of thing. For 11 years old, obviously you're thinking, oh, we don't want the kids to like so-called bad kids to influence the rest of the kids. But part of what is school really for? Do you know what I mean?
Money,
like it's mad.
Numbers,
but even
conformative, control.
Even at because obviously you now have the academy, so it's really about it's clearly about money, right?
Yeah.
But even back when we were going to school, secondary school, like I started 90 whatever it was.
I don't know how old you are. I'm not sure, sir.
I'm not allowed to say how old I am.
Yeah, it's your age. Why are you gonna stop?
Yeah, I'm not even asking you really.
Don't worry, he's actually reincarnated, so it's not actually ages. It's like 179. But we didn't want to let you know that we lived that long. We're black and strong. Yeah, look at that smile. He's not saying no. He's not saying no. Look at that smile. Yeah, we're in the master race. God, sorry, I'm being very silly, but
well, I'm 40, so like the time that we went to, because you're are you allowed to say?
You can do what you want. I'm younger than him, so I'm younger than 40. You can't see. I'm 47.
47.
End of the year.
Oh, I don't know you're 47.
End of the year. I'm 46 now. 47 end of the year.
Ah, right. So I went to school a little bit after you, but yeah, back then, even though obviously money's involved, like it's not like it is now. Not as clearly kind of
money orientated.
Yeah,
and they don't care about the academia, and it's about stats and this amount of numbers of passing this and all that. It's not
and all of that was important back then. But like to deny a child at the age of 11 because you think that he or she is naughty, when actually they're going to school because I mean, if we're honest about it, not all children have a good family background, whether it be that the parents aren't great parents, or it might be a single parent family and they say it's a mum, and the mum's out working all the time, and so the kids may be learning from other places or getting role models from other places. Like really, part of the school's job is not only to give them the academic learning, but also
support. You would think that in an ideal world that would be right, but it's not the way it goes.
Clearly.
It's not the way it goes, man.
Clearly, but it doesn't have to even be that much of an ideal world, really, when you think about it. Like, it doesn't have to be an ideal world to just like take on a kid that's 11 years old.
It does.
It doesn't have to be ideal world.
That's an ideal world for me, because the world we live in is opposite of an ideal world, and it's like the only people just caring about numbers now, as far as I'm concerned. Like, they separate the family. The more division they create, the better for them. The more individual consumers they are, the better for them.
What do you mean separate the family?
Separate the family. You can't hit your child. That was 20 years ago. When I was in school, when I was in school, they said stop hitting your child. I had children, but they said stop hitting your child. Yeah, boom. The phones, the food, the way things, the way the TV is, the cry for independence, the cry for individuality. They want people to less identify with groups and more identify with themselves. Like, I don't want to get into the sexual connotations, but there's different. Like, people identify with different groups, like there was the goths, the smart kids, and this. Those groups have fractured into bigger and bigger, smaller groups. To like, I'm just on my own. I just post and do my own. I'm just saying that
But then, how does I don't know if you're talking about society, business, or whatever.
Society.
How do they? Yeah, society. How does society benefit, even if it's a perceived benefit, by separating families and dividing families?
Society benefits. Society doesn't benefit.
No, but what you were saying, I think what you were saying was that someone, when you said, I think you said you said
they and them,
they benefit.
The consumers. So you okay, look, this is all my thing as well. Yeah. So you're disbanded from your people, yeah? You have an eating problem or a drinking problem or a mental problem, whatever problem, you have to deal with that by yourself. You then don't talk to somebody who is part of your family or someone who loves you. You talk to someone who doesn't care about you, or someone who's getting paid to give you this information. People that pay you to give this information either not paying you enough or paying you just enough more, so you make sure you give their information, give their drugs.
That's interesting.
It's lucrative to keep people on things.
Yeah. For
like
sure.
Whatever it is. If it's drugs, if it's food, if it's TV programs. TV, we're going to get it because we're both actors, but TV films have changed. You've gone from a film being 90 minutes to it being fucking 200 and something minutes. Then you've gone from it to being 200 and something minutes to it being a fucking series. It's a film, but now it's a series. It's a series
But
because we want to keep you watching it. We want to keep you consuming.
Yeah, but the interesting, like all of that is clear. But the interesting thing that you said is that all of this is in order to divide families. To me, that's really interesting. Especially
not specifically, but go on.
Oh, go on. What?
I don't. Maybe I don't want to contradict my own point.
No, but you can.
But no,
like we've got time to
to
massage it and like work it out because it's something you haven't fully worked out yet. But it was interesting that you're talking about dividing families.
Yeah,
you said separating and dividing people.
Yeah,
but then you brought it to family. And which is just interesting to me, like especially obviously being a Muslim as well. I mean, people don't know about it. A lot of people wouldn't know.
We're going to talk about that as well.
Dividing families is a big thing in Islam, as in that's one of the worst things that can happen and that can be done by a person or whatever. And that's what they're trying to do. And you make money by dividing the family. Yeah, the way you said it is, it's just interesting.
That's what I did. And I did say at the beginning is kind of my perception. But if I've got you all consuming different things, all wanting different things, all having an inherent greed as well. Yeah, not having an inherent satisfaction. Not wanting to have, let's say, like we used to, have a fucking house phone, and everyone uses it. Yeah. Now everyone's got a phone in the house. You've got 4 phones for 4 people. Doing what? They're not even using it for a phone no more. They're using it for everything but a phone. Try and phone them. You can't get them. Leave a message. You can't talk to them. Yeah. It's just more and more and more and more and less of this, like, you know, like talking and sitting down and celebrating each other. Yeah. That's just, I don't know. I do know, but that's, go on, Ansu.
No. I'm just like, you've made me really think about this thing because it's really interesting. And because it brings it to the whole argument again about, is technology good or bad? Is it good or evil, sort of thing? When you talk about people having phones and you don't even, like, having their own personal phone and maybe 2, 3, 4 phones of their own and iPads, and I don't know if you're allowed to mention on this show, but anyway, like iPads, laptops, and TVs and whatever, and everyone's got a TV in their own bedroom, and all of these different distractions which divide us, which is like, it's a good point. But then he said, but when you talk about the phones, you're talking about technology. Technology's got to, because you said like everybody used to, like, people don't just phone on the phone. You do loads of other things.
They do everything but phone on the phone.
Exactly, don't even phone on the phone itself.
No, they don't.
So like, but then it's not the fault of the technology, because you could, like, everybody can use the technology to do positive things as well. But it's the ones who are smart enough to find a way to use that technology and what is happening to the people through the technology to say, oh, okay. I mean, if this is what's happening, to say, all right, actually, everybody's got these phones. Let's find a way that we can make money out of them and out of that fact. One way is keep them looking at the phone and not looking at their family and not looking at their people, and make money out of that data or this kind of thing, whatever. It's just interesting that, like, you said that, but like, talking about the fact that it's breaking up and you didn't say breaking up, that's kind of means something
separating,
else. Separating and dividing.
We're the mob. Yeah. When are we ever not the mob?
So, but wait, hold on. So now we're the mob.
No, when I say we're the mob, we're the mob in a sense, like, because I just think randomly. We're the mob in a sense of when we're collective, we're the mob. When we're together, we're the mob. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? We've got power, we've got clout. People, the smaller factions, the ones who, how can I make money out of that? They fear us. Right. How can we separate the mob, or how can we subdue the mob? Yeah. It's the same as back in the day when they brought out the gladiators and all this in the Colosseums. It's just now people are getting smarter, so they've got to get smarter. The gladiators, the games have to be more intricate. The distractions have to be more tasty. They have to be more. They have to be cleverer. They have to be more, like more addictive. And this is what I say. This is just one of my things. What I'm thinking randomly. They are. The powers that be are those people who are eating, like, just say the senators, the whatever. Like in Rome, they want to keep the mob at bay, because once we realise now, okay, it's time to fight for this, or it's time to fight for that, or it's time to fight for that, they're in problems. Because they're just feeding us, like, and I sound like I'm babbling, but I'm not. No. They're feeding us a whole load of crap.
The thing is,
a whole load of crap. Fight for racism, fight for sexism, fight for this. What about humanism? What about being a human and everyone in the planet having a plate of food and somewhere to sleep? How the fuck can we not be fighting for that when we're fighting for all these other things? Because no, don't fight for that. Fight for this. No, don't fight for this. Smoke that. No, don't smoke that. Drink this. No, don't do that. Have sex with that. Like,
no, you got a point. The only thing I would kind of push back on is like making it sound like there are some really clever human beings that are planning all of this. I know that a lot of people believe that, especially if you're a conspiracy theorist, but a lot of people believe that there are like a group of, you know, old white men, or some people who say aliens, who are like who are orchestrating all of this stuff and making it happen. I just don't believe that. I think the world is much more kind of I say chaotic, I don't mean anyway, more chaotic than that. But what I was going to say is that like but I do think that is happening, but I just don't think there's like one guy or 10 people that are planning it and making it happen. I think it's just that's kind of the natural state of human beings. Exactly, that is just our natural state. And
people benefit from it, and people are suffering because of it.
Exactly. So like even as an individual, we benefit. And of course, there have been conspiracies. There are conspiracies, but it's not like a one massive conspiracy, in my opinion, in my belief. You know, obviously, I'm sure loads of people will disagree with me. Of course, loads of people do disagree with me 100%. Even some of the people that I love the most completely disagree with me. But like I just don't believe, and I mean I'm quite sure that it's not like there are a group of people that are orchestrating it all. But these things do happen and come together.
It's a very human thing. It's like your family, for example, your family. You've built a business and you employ your whole family. You're obviously going to keep your family at the top level of this business, right? Yeah. And then everyone else is you're going to be making money off of the people coming to your business, and you're going to make sure that your family stay at the top.
100%. And if you've got one family doing that, and you've got in another place another family trying to do the same thing, and in another place another family doing the same thing, they're competing against each other until one day they might go, hold on a sec, if we just join forces on this one particular thing, then maybe we can make even more money. They join forces or get together, it all just goes crazy. They end up hating each other and they separate, or the children end up hating each other, or grandchildren, great-grandchildren separate. That's kind of how the world really moves and interacts with itself. But you still, if like the two groups come together, it is still a conspiracy on some level, but then it doesn't last forever. It's not like human beings just kind of like they're a group of human beings that just get to, like, it's not like they're different to us. They're just in a position where they're able to do different things. But then once they get to a certain place in their life where they're just like, you know, whatever, you know, it's complicated, but they're still jealous, they're still greedy, they can still be privileged, they can still get complacent, they can still love, and they can still hate, and they can still just naturally get on with one person that's within the kind of whatever conspiracy, whatever you want to call it, or hate somebody that's in that same sort of group, and it just kind of moves and molds. Like the
royal family.
Second.
The royal family.
The royal family.
Yeah.
What about the royal family?
Aren't the royal families around the world those conspiracies, those factions that join up sometimes and don't join up other times? Are they not that?
Well, yeah. This is so deep into something that nobody really understands. But yeah. Like if you go back, like the royal family here, for example. Their origin, I think, is German, and I think it's German. I mean, people have to look that up. But like around the sort of First World War times, when that started kicking off, they all were speaking to each other because they were all literally related to each other, literally like as in cousins of each other. So the royal family here, the royal family like in
France
Germany,
and Scotland,
different parts of the world, they were literally, I can't remember all the different ones, but they were literally related to each other. But and part of that was by design, because it might help the conspiracy theorists, but part of that was by design, because it was like, if we want to get on with that other country,
alliances,
then let's our daughter should go and marry their son, and then they be king and queen of that country. And so like, yes, but then later on, with globalization and certain things like that, like you have maybe the ones that were most in power were people with money rather than people with hierarchical status in terms of, you know, kings and queens and stuff like that. So there's always going to be someone and some group of people at the top.
But because I don't want to digress too much, and I'm here to talk about you. And there's one thing, there's loads of things about your life that I love and I respect, and I really am kind of in awe of. One of them is your journey with God.
Okay.
One of them is your journey with God because you've been a devout Muslim. Ever since you're born?
Yeah.
You've been devout Muslim ever since you're born. Ever since I've known you, you've been devout Muslim. It came out for me more when we done Romeo and Juliet. I had more time to spend with you opposed to when we done Little Shop of Horrors. Yeah, because Little Shop of Horrors was just really wild. We was on 2 or 3 different sites.
Yeah, exactly.
Doing that, rehearsing with different people. You was a lead. Did I get to sing? I did get to sing. No, did I get to sing? I think I sang. I did.
Well, you had
I did sing. I did sing.
Like
I sung.
On the video, there was something where your voice came out. So whether it was singing or
I did.
whatever,
I was the agent.
Yeah.
When you Prince you. My name is Bernstein. Now from NBC, I come down here to convince you to make a prime time TV show for me. Seymour Crowbon's gardening tips. Blah 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 blah. But it was alright. TV's first home gardening program. We'll make a minute and then people saw. Yeah, because the program. So I had a little paragraph of singing. You had loads of songs. But yeah, that was.
I can't remember a word of it. But
I remember. I remember. I was in a little part, innit? What gonna do?
Nah, but still.
Little shop for hours. All right, let's work that first. Sorry.
All right.
Mr. Mushnick, Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah.
He was, as he's 40, I'm 46. His year was doing a play, Little Shop of Horrors.
No, it was our year. You were in.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Your year was doing a play, and they was doing a play, right? I wasn't supposed to be there.
I was in you as well. Were you not in our year?
No. I'm 46, you're 40, you're 40, bro. Let me tell you what happened.
Okay, go on.
Remember that same woman, Jill, yeah? Jill was doing a rehearsal on Benmore Road. Upstairs, in that studio, you can go, when you open the door, you go in and it's a studio, it's got mirrors and like it's a dance studio. And you go in one door and go out the other. Benmore Road site, but you're rehearsing. I used to be everywhere I wasn't supposed to be all the time. But without fail, if I was supposed to be there, I was there. You know what I was there? So I come through the door, was rehearsing, I put my head through the door, but then also, I've had this kind of like thing where I was like, so I come through the door and I'm standing in the classroom with the teacher and everything, and I was like, hi. That was the thing I could get away from. I was like, hi. Jill was like, she was like, hi. Because so you not rehearsing? I goes, I'd really love to be in a play.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know if she told me to come back, or I went and saw her in the office another time because she never let me stay in that part.
Okay.
But that's how I got a part of the play. I come through the door, I'm not supposed to be there. She goes, all right, just come to the rehearsals over here, we'll find your part. Then we start rehearsing that Camden Road site. And I just tenacified. It's not a word. No, I just like being tenacious. I tenacified my way into the role, into being a bum on skid role. Like I wasn't. It was you lot was doing drama or media from at a certain level. I was studying a totally different course.
What were you studying?
I was studying like I don't know if I was doing dance at the time. I might have been doing dance. I've been doing dance.
I think you were doing dance.
Yeah, but you lot was doing I wasn't. You lot, I was just doing dance. You lot was doing drama and something. I was just doing dance, contemporary jazz, Afro-Caribbean dance, bro. Nothing to do with acting, bro. That play was you lot's end of thing production.
No.
No, what was it?
Nah, it's funny, isn't it? Like, how many years ago is that? But it like, because obviously you remembered it in a particular way. Obviously, the things that happened. But I mean, in terms of like what we were actually doing and who was allowed to be there, you were definitely allowed to be there because there were other people that were just on the Camden Road site. And actually, there were people in that.
But Fandango, I wasn't supposed to be in it though.
The thing is, there were auditions.
Yeah,
you had to audition to get into it. So maybe you turned up after the audition or something.
I think I did.
Yeah, and then
I still got a part.
Like you just kind of weaseled your way in or whatever. Yeah. But you were allowed to. Anybody was allowed to audition from the college. As long as you were in the college, you were allowed to audition. So it wasn't like once you were there, once you were there, that you weren't allowed to be there. Yeah. Maybe you felt like
I always feel like I just
the whole time you just felt like a criminal. Yeah. No, you were allowed to be there. It was just obviously the way.
Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you be here, man?
But that's just funny because like, is that like your natural general state of mind? Like I'm not supposed to be here, but I'm just gonna.
I was winging it. Up until now, you're talking over 20 years ago.
Yeah.
In my mind, I wasn't supposed to be there, bro. But I managed to be there.
That's
and then the whole play, we had a whole play. AXA came and watched the play. We had a whole good. It was alright. It was alright. I enjoyed that.
No, I enjoyed it. And then you even got a part, like your own little sort of part.
Yeah.
So obviously that shows something about your character. But you were definitely allowed to be there, especially like if Jill let you be there. But there were plenty of people that were.
Jill was amazing as well.
Yeah, she really was. Yeah, she really was. So yeah, no, there were plenty of people that were there who weren't doing acting or anything like that.
Performing arts. But I was dancing, so
yeah, exactly. So like I knew you were dancing at the time, so then to me it was nothing unusual.
It was a dance. I was a dance. I don't know what that last bit was about, but
yeah, a little shimmy, a little shimmy.
So you, Ansu, because you sung amazingly, you performed like impeccably. Like I said, I was giving you all the accolades at the beginning, but that was only what do you call it? A prequel to the stuff I would see you doing later. That I would have the privilege of seeing you doing later. Okay. I've watched you. I came and watched you do Othello.
Oh, did you watch that?
I watched your fellow where he had all the sheets floating and all
that.
I remember you doing a fellow. I remember it was good. Desdemona, what was it, the thing? You know, he says I haven't lied to her. She asked me about my trip, and I told her about it. I told her what I'd been through. Honestly, yeah.
I can't remember a line of
That's
it.
fucking crazy because you have to remember whole plays.
Bad memory. No,
but you got a good memory when it serves you, bro.
Well, it's a different type of memory, is what it really is. But like I can't learn lines in the way that other actors who really do have a good memory for lines can learn lines. Like the way some people can just like pick it up, read it a few times and it's kind of there. I kind of had to work out my own way of preparing in order to get the lines in. Especially
when did you realise that?
You mean work out that way of working?
No, when did you realise you had to work differently?
Basically, I did, what play was it again? Winter's Tale. Yeah, I was thinking, when you asked me before, I was like, have I done Winter's Tale?
Is that by Shakespeare?
That's Shakespeare as well. So I was doing Winter's Tale with an actor, director, also writer called Kenneth Branagh. He just won an Oscar for his writing, actually.
Kenneth Branagh?
Yeah.
He's a big boy writer, man. No?
Yeah, no, but he didn't, like, people think of him as a writer for some reason.
Is it not Kenneth Branagh who does a lot of the Shakespeare renditions?
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of gingery kind of hair. Or blondie.
Yeah, he's blondie, yeah, slightly blondie.
He's been in the game for a minute.
Oh, yeah. He's a knight.
You're renowned.
He's Sir Kenneth Branagh. Actually.
Okay, he's a sir,
yeah.
Yeah.
He's a big boy. He's been around. He's been around for a bit. So he was doing, along with Rob Ashford, they were doing Winter's Tale. I mean, there's another play in Rap and Blow, and they were doing a season of play.
The RAC or
no. This was it was actually his company, but they were doing it in the West End. So they auditioned me, and for a small part, and then they wanted to give me the part, but they said I had to understudy 2 parts. One is called Leontes and one is called Polixenes. Leontes is like notoriously one of the hardest parts in all of Shakespeare. And
why?
Because it's just like, so I mean, it's a long story. I don't know if people have really been.
I just break it down shortly because I love it. I don't care about I do care about the audience, but I'm here to talk to you, Ansu. I love Shakespeare, so break it for me. Basically,
Shakespeare obviously wrote a body of plays. In the sort of later plays that he wrote, so you got the iambic pentameter, for example. There are other things going on, but you got the iambic pentameter, for example, right? Which
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, but it's the structure of the verse. So like, I'm probably laughing at you.
Wait a minute, you look up. Wizard back there on his phone. He's like, who? What is that? Do I need to press a button or something? Can I say one more time though? For the audience, the I am body.
Oh my gosh, you made me say.
It's alright. No, you'll be right. You'll be right.
Iambic pentameter. Right?
Iambic pentameter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is basically just like, so like most of what the playwrights were writing at the time was in verse, like as in kind of poetry, verse, right? You'd write a play, like Shakespeare would write a play, some of it's in verse, some of it's in prose, as in just like, just like normal, just like lines, right? Not in verse. And verse being, like say like you got a song, when you write a song, it's in lines, right? So each line makes it a verse. So if you put that together, you would call that a verse. Pentameter is the meter, pentameter. So the meter, which means how many beats you have in a line. That's quite strict. He was always able to write verse in a way which conforms to the pentameter, but it still kind of jazzes it up and makes it kind of
Shakespeare.
Shakespeare, yeah. The great ones are always able to do it. but as he got further on in his career, was more able to just completely mess up the structure in a way where it's still beautiful and still amazing and still expressive, right? And so he would at times mess it up in order to do a thing. So like when you're hearing the pentameter, it's like when you hear a song, you know, like when you're hearing, especially if it rhymes, for example, sometimes you're hearing people rhyme and you know what they're going to say next because it's like it fits in a perfect meter. Do you know what I mean? His stuff is like that, especially if you're at that time, you're not watching TV and stuff. Obviously, you're going to, if you're hearing anything like that, you're going to plays or you're hearing street plays or whatever, and you're hearing this verse. So everyone knows how that verse goes, just like everyone knows how everyone who listens to hip hop or whatever, they know how certain things go. If you listen to drill or whatever you listen to, you know how it flows, right? Everyone knew how that kind of verse would flow. Later on, he's getting to a point where he's so good at it and he knows exactly how to manipulate it, and he's such like a genius that he was able to just mess it up, so that every time it messed up, you would hear it, and then and the words he would be using in that bit where he messed it up would stick out, and because it sticks out, you remember it in a different sort of way, or you feel it in a different way to how you feel the stuff that's kind of flowing in a way that it's kind of supposed to flow. So, I mean, Winter's Tale is one of the later plays. So he's doing this all over the place, and he's also going deep because he's older, he's more intelligent, he's more experienced in life. He's also going deeper, just in terms of philosophy,
and metaphors and stuff. Right?
So he's going deeper, and then he's using the iambic pentameter in ways that like no kind of standard playwright could ever dream of using it. You see what I mean? So so obviously, if you had to learn the lines in iambic, but as an understudy. So, like, for those who don't know, understudy is so you got the main. So Kenneth Branagh's playing Leontes. He's brilliant as well. Like, he smashed it. Like, so Kenneth Branagh's playing Leontes, and then I've got to learn everything he says, everything he does on stage, and I never actually get to do it. But in case he one day is sick or whatever and he can't do the show, and I've got to go on and do the show for him. It's like, I respect anyone who's, because some people are just understudies. They don't have, like, I had a part in the play, and then if something happens, then I would have to leave that part and go and play his part. Someone else is understudying me and I can't play my part, right? And I've done that before, and I've actually had to go on before on other stuff.
It's fucking great, innit? It's good, innit?
Not for me.
I think it's good. I think it's good because you wait. It's like you're just waiting. You're waiting.
Maybe you got the energy. Maybe you got the energy for it. I understand. I've done it too. Yeah. Well, you probably got the kind of character where you enjoy it. Me, no. You
didn't want to just get on though, because it's like you prepare yourself for this thing for so long.
Yeah, but you're preparing yourself for this thing, so you're always on edge. Maybe you like it like that, but me, I'm just
I don't.
So what do you enjoy about it then?
What I enjoy about it is like you go over the lines. I'll go over the lines, and I've learnt them because I've learnt your lines, and I watch you. Yeah. They say, Kenneth Branagh smashing it, killing it. Yeah. I see you hitting certain arcs and doing certain things, and I see the text come alive differently to the way I saw the text come alive. And I just want a chance to hit the ball at the park. Like, I don't, this is about you, it's not about me, but I don't, anything I do, I haven't done much recently, anything I do acting-wise, anything like that, it's not for the other stuff, it's for the exhilaration. It's for the satisfaction. It's not for the kudos. God bless everyone, it's not for the kudos. It's for the hitting that line. That's why I remember lines. It's for the, like, I remember Prince Iskalish. Rebellious subjects, enemies to peace, profaners of this neighbour's stained steel. Like, I love that shit. I love that shit. That's not to put the mic back. I know I'm gonna shit.
Yeah, I know you.
I love that. Like, no one can. That energy there. No one can't take it from me. No one can't give it to me. It's mine. Whenever I remember Prince Iskalish, what we did, down to bang, letting off the gun, and I remember you got in the wings, and what's this guy? You got Woo. Yeah, Will. You got McNabb.
Yeah.
Fucking, who else was in this clique? Was you?
Ben
McNabb.
was there.
Ben, who's Ben?
As in Ben Davidson.
Oh, the director?
No, that's Michael Fentiman.
That's what I was going to say.
He was a big theatre director now, you know.
I don't remember.
Ben was Romeo.
Yeah. Ben was alright, but he wasn't in the clique.
Oh, right.
It was you. And they was, no, because he was always with Juliet.
Ah,
It was
yeah,
with
of course.
Juliet.
All right,
I
okay,
remember one
okay,
night.
okay,
I
I know
remember
what
everyone
you're
was
saying.
sleeping with each other on that fucking set as
I
well.
wasn't even know one.
Everyone was sleeping.
I wasn't even know one. Let's
Everyone was-
just get it straight. I was not doing nothing with
I didn't sleep.
nobody.
I didn't sleep. I didn't sleep. I didn't. What am I starring? I didn't sleep.
So you notice, I'm saying I. I was saying everyone.
Yeah.
I'm like, I did nothing. I don't know what anyone else did. None of my
So let's
business.
go back. Like I slept with. I slept with someone there, but I never slept with someone them there. I slept with them.
What?
I slept with them.
I slept with someone there, but I never slept with someone.
I was sleeping, but I wasn't really sleeping. No, I slept with some. Let me get the context. Okay, I'm gonna tell you who I slept with, right?
Why?
Because I'm not. No, I'm not gonna tell you who I slept with. I'm not.
Oh, you're not going to say. Oh,
I'm not telling you who I
okay.
slept with, but I tell you what it was. It was an accumulative. It was an accumulative. It was a. It was. Why am I stuttering so much? It was an accumulative. It was an accumulative. You know what it accumulates? Say it for me, please. I'm fucking stuttering like a motherfucker. Build up, because this person was. It was a full blown play. It was one of the amazing ballet dancers, and she used to come and stretch outside my dressing room every show. The beginning of the show, she used to come and do the splits outside my dressing room. Every show, like on the floor, splits. I don't know if you know who it was. It doesn't matter if you know who it was.
remember, no.
But every show, she used to do splits, and she used to watch me. I used to get ready. We used to do stuff. I remember you being there.
She used
and
to watch you
Yeah, she used to watch me.
while she was doing a stretch.
Yeah.
Oh. What you
Exactly.
getting dressed and stuff?
No, getting ready. Like, remember, like, what was it? Was it Kaganung?
Oh, the vocal one.
Remember that? Yeah. I remember, isn't it? Yeah. Remember, isn't it? Right, this isn't Little Shop of Horrors.
No, this is when we were bigger.
This was bigger. We were real actors, man. We were real actors. So you remember you used to get a thing for actors out there as well. Vocal warm-ups. You used to get a little tube thing. You put in your mouth here.
A bone drop.
A bone prop is it called?
Yeah.
And you used to talk through it, and I was like, I learned so much from you. I learned a lot from other people. This is hence why you get the accolades you got at the beginning of the show, because how much I've learned and done with you. But I was like, what's that? And he was like, he's doing voice things, and you gave me that kuganung. And also open your palate and your diaphragm. Do you remember?
Yeah, but it's because my vocal warm-up now is so different from then. Like, I don't use a bone prop anymore.
Oh, of course.
Like, someone advised me not to, and I was like, okay.
You
evolve when you develop. Yeah. No, but it's just as you're saying that, I'm just like, I can't even remember how I did it, but it was definitely.
I remember that. See, I remember stuff like that. And I remember you doing that, McNabb getting ready.
Yeah.
And I won't out no one, but some people really went for a lot of people there. And but yeah, and then she was outside the door doing that. But I remember, you know what happened with Ben, Romeo?
Yeah.
I think one night we was out, and then Juliet kissed me.
Okay.
She was kissing on me. And she was kissing on me. I think he thought it was funny for her.
And he was watching.
Yeah, he was there. He wasn't too far off. He thought it was funny, because after the play, we used to go out. Everyone used to drink and stuff or whatever. Everyone used to hang out at Mike's house.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just like, she come over and she was just talking to me, and then she just started kissing. We just started kissing. I don't know why we started kissing, but kissing, start snogging, right? And he was watching that, and he's like, yeah, go on, I don't mind. But then she started getting into it. I started getting into it, and he wasn't happy.
So this is before they were like.
No, this is during the play. I think they might have already had sex. They might have already had sex by then.
Man, I don't know.
No, but that's what I say to you. I never slept with that person. We was really young. It was years and years ago.
Yeah.
I never slept with a ballet dancer till after the play. I invited her down, and
right.
because it wasn't. I was more about the art. When I was there, I was working.
Yeah.
I had to focus on my role.
No, but to be fair, whatever
And the
was
cakes I was
going
baking,
on.
and the cakes I was baking. 'Cause I baked a lot of cakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the.
All right.
That's the first time.
Now you get the free things now. You understand? All right, yeah, right.
No, that's the first time I had your cakes. Like, has that come up on the podcast before?
No,
People know about your cakes.
no, people don't know about my cakes.
No, people.
Don't,
like,
I got my poem online about me loving cake, but people don't know about my cakes.
Yeah, they probably just think it's just bars, isn't it? But actually, I can confirm. Which camera am I looking at? This one here. I can confirm Ayo makes
exceedingly good cakes.
Exceedingly good cakes. Nah, Ayo makes like proper. It's
I can throw down in the kitchen too.
Yeah. The lemon drizzle cake is one of my best memories of anything I've ever had in my life.
Wow,
ever.
thank you.
I
Thank
the
you.
lemon, no. The lemon, like I've been looking for lemon. Like after that,
Yeah.
I've been looking for lemon drizzle cake. Never found it. Never
Wow.
really found a decent. Not, I mean, there've been decent lemon drizzle cakes,
Yeah,
you know
but
what I mean?
yeah.
But not on the same level.
Thank you.
The custard.
I
It's not
appreciate
even, whatever, you can thank me or not. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like,
And
it's
I
just
used to
true,
come
it's
with
just
cakes.
honest.
Like I used to bake whole bag of cake and just bring them to the production. Yeah, I used to bake cakes like no man's business, man.
But then you were like, oh man, I'm eating too much cakes. I can't. When I start eating, I can't stop. And so, and you're talking about like putting on weight and all that kind of thing, and then you just stop making cakes.
Yeah.
So,
People were having sex. I was making cakes.
Yeah.
That was my thing. I was making cakes.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you know what that was for me as well, though. Actually, to be honest, like I didn't fit in that well over there.
You felt that you didn't fit in.
Yeah, because we're in Harlow. It's like it was quite predominantly white.
Yeah.
I wasn't nothing to do with it. For you invited me to that production, so I never really knew anybody.
I never knew anyone.
No, but I thought you were close with Mike.
Oh yeah, well yeah.
Yeah,
Mike
and Mike
Ben
was a director. That's all you needed to know. Like I just was meeting Mike. Not that Mike wasn't welcoming and warm and everything, but it was just a funny. I just kind of like treaded very carefully when I was there, which I find sometimes when you go.
It's
into
funny, you know what? Do you know what? Now you're saying that because I think you were probably more conscious of it at that time because you're a bit older than me as well. Just in terms of what that is to like basically big black man walking into something
Exactly,
where there's
yeah.
no other, just no one that looks like you kind of thing.
at all.
For me, yeah, like you say, I knew certain people as well. But I always remember that, yeah, because you made the cakes and stuff.
I had to find something to kind of soften my big blackness.
Exactly. So there was one of the girls, I can't remember who it was. Like if I saw a picture of her, I saw her right here, I would have no idea who she even is. But I just always remember one of the girls said something like, it wasn't this, but something like, oh, he's really nice. But something like, he's really nice. Talking about you, he's really nice. He's not scary like he looks. Something like that. Something like that. Anyway, I was like, because obviously to me, obviously I know you anyway. But still, even if I walk past you in the street, I wouldn't necessarily think, oh, he's scary because I see people.
But you're you. But this is people fear me.
Well, this is it. Like,
For
no,
no
but
reason.
I can see why people might fear you. To be fair, I can see why.
You all used to fear me. You don't know I'm a nice guy.
No, you are. No, but you were a nice guy then as well.
Yeah.
But obviously, at the end of the day, you can cut this out if you want to, because I'll just say it like I see it. You're obviously always, as far as I've known, you've always been a nice guy. But then you know how to also handle yourself in other situations, which you were sometimes in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I suppose.
So like if it's with me where I'm not doing certain things, then it's just all cool. And if it's a group of people that I might know and we're acting or whatever we're doing, then you're like your IO that I know, which is a decent, nice guy. Then maybe when you're with other people in certain places at certain times of the day where other things are happening, you might have to use your other face,
persona,
which is one that's to keep you safe and to let you do the things that you need to do in that position, sort of thing, whatever. So you can see, but still, the way she said it, because she hasn't got a clue about what your life is really like, even in times where you do have to put on that, like use that persona, she hasn't got a clue. So like,
coming down there was hard, bro.
So I can imagine. It's now you're saying that, I can imagine, but like at the time, I didn't think it was necessarily hard for you. Because
it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy at all, man.
Yeah.
It wasn't easy at all.
As well. It's not like
it was far. Like getting the train there.
Yeah, exactly.
It was a lot,
So
but it was worth it.
You're like, part of you is probably thinking, like, what's it gonna be like? How am I gonna behave to make sure that I don't,
You don't want to fuck up. You're always on eggshells. Even going home when people get the train, people don't always come sit with me on the train, bro.
Yeah.
And if people are walking out, but people are like, you see people like, it was mad. It still is mad, but I keep myself to myself now. It was mad.
For me, like there was a night when we were there at, like you were saying, at Mike's house, and for whatever reason, I wanted to get back before the last train, or whatever, but the last train was late and was dark. And I had this was before mobile phones and stuff, before Google Maps and that kind of thing. And I was just like, someone must have said, just go down that road and then that road, whatever. I don't know, whatever. I was just walking.
That's a racist area as well, Harlow.
That's the thing. So like,
very racist
when
area.
I was walking, and like, because I didn't feel unsafe, even if it's a racist area. But what I noticed more was that other people didn't feel safe around me. So I'm walking thinking, okay, when I see the next person, I'll just ask them what way it is to the train station. And it's
They see
cold,
they run.
I've got my hood up, everything. Well, they just cross the road. As soon as they see you coming, they just cross the road. And even if you walk over to the other side of the road, they're going to cross again anyway, sort of thing. So, I mean, it's...
They go, this here black man followed me. Oh my God, I feel I was going to die. Oh my God, he crossed back.
Yeah. So like, if I was getting that, obviously for you, because you're just bigger than me. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know.
But it's in this. Thank you, moto. I'm big, right? Because I'm big. Let's get back to what talking about acting, innit?
What are we talking about? Oh yeah.
About you and acting. So you got into acting because.
Oh, what I got into acting in that Little Shop of Horrors time.
Yeah.
What it was, I was like, from the age of 10, I knew that I wanted to be an architect because I was always good at art, but I was also good at maths and science and that kind of thing. And they said, and you know, like, yeah, whatever. And they said, I must have heard somehow that if you're good at those two things at the same time, which is quite unusual, you could be an architect, because that's a place where you're going to use both of those skills.
Yeah, they're combined.
Right, you combine them. So from the age of 10, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense to me. So I was just solidly on that for my whole life until. So I don't know how they do it now. I'm sure it's a similar thing. But you know, when you do your GCSEs, you get put in your tiers, and at the time it was higher, intermediate, foundation.
Set 1, set 2, set 3 or whatever.
That kind of thing, yeah. Let's say 1, 2, 3. And what I was putting, 1, higher tier maths. And when you do the exam, you can't get anything lower than a B. So if you don't get a B, you just get an E, or you just get a U, unclassified, meaning you've got no mark. So even if your standard is a C standard, you're not even going to be able to get a C. So like, you basically failed the exam, even if you're like a C level, right?
So you should have been in a lower group. You'd have got better grades. You'd have got
no. I'm not saying. Well, no, what I'm saying.
No, I'm just saying in that context, if you're in a lower group, you would get the C though.
In the lower group, you could get a C. That was your maximum. So like,
so you would get
in a lower group,
you would have got the C. But because of the group you put on, because you come lower than their threshold, you get nothing.
You get nothing at all. Yeah, right. Right.
You were nothing. You got nothing. Sorry.
But I mean, that's the point as well. Is that like, if you're in the lower group, but they just underestimate you, give you that lower tier exam, maybe you actually could get a B. Like, you've got the intelligence and the knowledge to get a B and the ability to get a B, but you can't get a B because your exam only goes up to C. So there's that kind of thing. Okay, anyway, whatever. Yeah. So for me, I couldn't get lower than a B in maths because of the way the exam was set up. And so we did the exams and everything. Summer holidays now, I was just thinking to myself, because I was going to do A-level, I was going to do maths, physics and art. I was thinking to myself, if I don't get this B in maths GCSE, I'm not going to be able to go and do maths A-level. So if I can't do maths A-level, what am I actually going to do at A-level? And so I just thought, okay, like, what's the plan B? What do I like? I like films. Okay, I think I could probably write good films and direct good films. I think I want to be a. If I can't be an architect,
10, yeah.
I will go. No. This is now 16. This is GCSE time. So it's like, this is summer holidays. This same time I was doing the door-to-door sales thing, thinking about all this stuff. I was like, okay, well, I think I'll probably just go and be a writer director of films, as if it was easy, you know what I mean? Yeah. But basically, the idea of becoming a writer director just got bigger and bigger and bigger in my head, and it got to the point where I was like, wait, no, that's what I want to do. I don't want to be an architect. Regardless, before the marks come out, I was like, no, I want to make films. And this was a time when Tarantino was getting really big, yeah. So I think what's the one? Not the first one, not Reservoir Dogs. The one after
Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction. Yeah.
Pulp Fiction had come out. I don't know if it was just out or maybe a little bit before, but that was a time when that had come out, and so this idea of a writer director was like common knowledge, and people were like, "Oh, that's a writer director." So I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll just be the next Tarantino," as if it was going to be easy. And so yeah, then I was like, "Okay, I'm not going to do maths, physics. I'll do art, English, and theatre studies at A-level." Go to my African parents and say, "I
was doing that studies."
Yeah, study this. So that was as far as they were concerned. That was not on the table. That was not an option. And so they were like, and they're funny because they were like, okay, as a compromise, do maths, physics, and art, because you're still doing art, and it's still like one of the subjects you wanted to do. I was like, that's not a compromise. That's exactly what I was supposed to do in the beginning. So that I had to go on the day when you choose your subjects, and you go and tell them at the college, before, this is still in the summer holidays, when you've got your GCSE marks and you know you're going to school and all that kind of thing, what subject, or maybe it was before you get your marks, but anyway, what subjects you want to do in A-level. As far as my parents were concerned, I had to go and choose maths, physics and art. I went and chose maths, I chose physics, and then I had this moment in my life which was like a proper pivotal moment. I'm saying people at home, don't do this, because like you should not do this. It's too big a risk for most people, the vast majority of people. But I was just like, my life was in my hands, in the balance. I was like, am I going to go and do art, or am I going to go and choose theatre studies? And then obviously I chose theatre studies, right?
Are you happy?
Of course. Yeah.
So why are you telling people at home not to do it?
Because it's a risk. You have to know that you're a person that takes risks.
Yeah.
No, not everybody. No, but I don't like this idea. Like people are like, do you know what I mean?
Come on, let's jump off the plane, naked, yeah.
But this whole thing, like, you can do what you like, follow your dreams. All this, I think it's nonsense. To be honest, like, really and truly, it's nonsense. Like,
wait, but you followed your dream, bro.
Yeah, but look,
are you a good actor, bro? Listen, bro. Kenneth Branagh is a knight by the Queen, yeah.
Yeah.
The Sandman. Who was you acting alongside in The Sandman?
What's his name again? Brilliant actor. You put me on the spot.
Bald guy, innit? The white fella.
Oh, did you watch it? What's his? Yeah. What's his name? He was in Game of Thrones.
Here you go. Sir Charles Dance.
Another
bloody knight. He's in there with all the knights. You know what I mean?
Wait, is he a knight?
Sir Charles Dance. Sir Charles. He lives up the road, bro.
Yeah, he's up here.
Sir Charles Dance, bro. I know, brother. I know him. He's Saddam Nunsi.
What?
Have you seen Golden Child?
Oh, he's
the villain in Golden Child. You know what? We're gonna start talking about films in a minute. We're gonna start busting out some films. We need to get it.
Is he Sir Charles? I need to. Yeah.
But you know Saddam Nunsi. That's him. That's when he was young. He's also the villain in the last Boy Scout, not the last Boy Scout, the Last Action Hero. Okay. He's a villain with a glass eye in the Last Action Hero.
Okay. Whoa. The Last Action Hero with
Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. But no,
yeah. You talk about bruv, you've worked with people that are like, I literally idolize. Like, and it's not just that. You are a great actor. You've done some good stuff. So please don't tell the people don't follow their dreams.
No. Okay, let me get to my point.
Don't follow your dreams, man.
But now it's like you're making it a meme or something. Basically, what I'm saying is, you can follow your dream. Take risks, yes, but not everybody's gonna achieve their dream. Like if you say to every kid that, oh yeah, you can be anything you want. Like
they can, bro. Stop what you're doing, bro. But what's happening, bro?
But listen, let me land the point. Let me just land the point. The point is, happiness isn't in becoming a star actor or a star this or a star that or whatever. That's not where happiness actually is. And some of the happiest people are the ones who do a 9-to-5 skilled job or whatever, and they go home with their family and actually have a nice time. They make some money, and then they spend the money on the things they actually love doing, like being with their family, going on holidays or whatever.
What I'm trying to say to you, Ansu, to me, even that is a risk that other people are not willing to take.
What's that?
I will risk doing a 9-to-5 and making just enough money to buy the house with my wife and have a mortgage and take care of my family and only have that. And then if anyone wants to pull the carpet from underneath, like your wife, the cat, they don't can pull the carpet from underneath you. That's a risk. That's a risk in itself. That's gambling on that.
It's but listen, if we want to use the terminology of gambling, right? We're talking about chance. The chances of that happening and it going wrong, if you aim to have a 9-to-5 or to do, like to be a professional. The chances of that going wrong in that sort of way is much slimmer than it going wrong if you try and go and be a star actor.
Yeah, but we're talking about, you're absolutely right, but we're talking about initial decisions, and we're talking about when you said, do you know what, I'm supposed to pick art, but I'm going to risk it and I'm going to pick theatre studies. Like I'm supposed to go and travel the world, but I'm going to risk it and marry this one woman and have kids with her, and hopefully she's the one. She won't leave me and empty my bank account, because that happens.
Of course it happens, but it doesn't happen as much as people saying, I want to be an actor, and then it just not working out.
I have to respect everything you said, but I also in the same breath have to say, Take risks, guys. Take risks.
I'm not saying to anybody don't take risks. What I'm actually saying is you need to be a risk taker if you're going to take risks. If you're going to take a risk, you need to be a risk taker.
Okay, don't take risks if you're not a risk taker.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, what you got to really think about is, am I going to be happy? What do I need to be happy? And as a young person, if everybody in the world is saying to you, you can be anything you want. Yes, you can be anything you want, but will you be is the question. Like, you still have to go to yourself, okay, I have to, like, the belief I have in myself is strictly speaking, is delusional. It's delusional. You cannot really know if, like, I can't really know if I'm a good enough actor and if I'm also lucky enough to be and blessed enough to actually get to a point where I want to be as an actor. You see what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, but yeah. I have to argue all the time.
Whereas I could, like, if you say my aim is to have a nice life with my family, is to have a family, have a nice life with my family, and in order to do that, I need to learn how to be a plumber, or I need to learn how to be a banker, or be a doctor, or be an accountant if you want to go professional, or be a plumber if you want to go skilled, bricklayer, whatever it is.
I like the way you said that. I like that.
What's that?
Because you came back and said plumber, then you said doctor, then you said if you go professional, but then you came back skilled.
Yeah, if you want to be skilled, right? Or if you want to be, if you know that you can't necessarily. But some people, like, if you know that you haven't got the sort of talent and ability to if you're not academic, but even if you're not somebody who can do a skilled job, you can go and work in a supermarket. I don't know how skilled that is, but like whatever. Like, whatever the thing is, if you just know that you whatever your talent is, even if your talent is, I don't have to sleep much, I can work really hard and I can do 4 cleaning jobs or whatever. People send their children to private school on cleaning jobs. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you know that like what your talent actually is, and say, I can actually make this work and make a good living and be something to society, but more importantly, do something and be something to my family. Have a nice life with my family. Like if you ask me how many holidays I ever have in my life, very few. Whereas if you go to somebody who works a 9 to 5 or whatever they do, where they know that every year you're gonna take these 2 weeks off or whatever, however many weeks people usually might take off, and that time is when I'm gonna go on holiday, and I know almost definitely, unless something really goes wrong, but I know that I'm gonna build up a certain amount of money, which gets me to a point where I can take my family out on a holiday. Like, that's quite a nice life, as long as you appreciate it. Sometimes people don't appreciate it because the world is saying, oh no, you're supposed to be a star, or you're supposed to get this many likes on your social media type things, or you're meant to do a podcast or whatever you're meant to do. You're not meant to do any of them things, really. What you're meant to do is live and die. Really and truly. And what is living? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, what really is it? You got to decide for yourself what it really
open
is.
It up. What's living to you?
Me.
To you, wizard. Yes, wizard, to you.
You know you're on.
Put your arms right up on this pike. He's like, oh, what's the row? Yeah, you, bro.
You thought that you could just stand behind the camera and just laugh. Just get your 2 pennies worth.
You don't want to laugh around this one over. He come back to you. What's living to you?
To me, as a Muslim especially, living is preparing for death at the end of the day. That's the main thing, because that's the one thing you know is going to happen. And as a Muslim, I believe that there's a life after death. So you're doing the best you possibly can to go to a good place when you die with the people that you love.
So how do you prepare for death?
Everybody's got a different answer, but for me...
No, you. I don't get about that. I'm talking to you.
No, when you said you, it sounded like the general kind of you. But for me, personally, it's doing...
Did you eat all the Twixes away as well?
Did I eat them all?
Yeah, it's all gone.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry.
No,
I'm not talking until you come back on the camera. Just edit this bit out. The naughty corner. Well, why'd you have to go right in the corner?
Because I ain't picking my nose on camera.
Yeah, but...
I clean my nose with a tissue. What's that?
But you can just stand up like there and you're off camera, right?
Nah, it's just like, secluded.
I wish people could see this on the camera. Like, he's literally right up in the corner.
I don't.
Right in the corner. Like,
I don't. You ever been somewhere someone's digging at their nose? My nose, I just need to clean it. I clean it with someone's digging at their nose. Who wants to see someone digging at their nose?
No, they don't want to see that. You don't want anybody to see it.
Do you want to see it?
I don't care.
Do you want to see it?
Honestly, I don't care.
You want to see it?
Actually,
Oh my
maybe
God.
we want to see it on camera. Yeah.
No,
But the thing is, some people are squeamish about that kind
I
of
ain't
thing. You
digging
can't
nothing
just...
on those camera, man. Go back to what you was talking about.
Yeah, so... But no, you asked me a specific question.
Yeah.
Sorry, I shouldn't be drinking Coke on here.
How do you see... What was that question asked?
I think it was what is not the meaning to life, or it was something.
It was around that question, yeah.
Then
but
what did you say?
You were saying like it was something specific to me.
Living. You said, but it's either living or we're dying. It's about living and dying. What is living life to you? What is
I was
living to
talking
you?
about preparing for death. Yeah, and I was talking about preparing for death. And you said,
What does
how,
life mean to you?
No, you
Life-
said, how do you prepare? You said, how do I?
Yeah, we've gone to that anyway.
How do I prepare for?
You have to remember the other question so you can ask him because he's not getting away with it.
What was the other question again?
Don't worry, let's do it. How do you prepare? Like, you just finish with what you were saying first. So being a Muslim,
Yeah,
you're actually your life, living your life is preparing for death. That's what you live your life is prepare for death.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as simplistic as that, but that's a lot of what it really is. But like, because you could say, I'm preparing for death, well, then nobody matters, but it does matter, but people do matter. That's why I say it's not simplistic, you know what I mean? Like someone might hear, oh, you're preparing for death. Well, that means you just pray all day and you don't communicate with anybody, and that would be the best way to prepare for death, right?
Yeah.
But like that, but that's not what it is to be a Muslim at all. One of the is basically you need to believe in God, believe in Allah, and do good things. That's pretty much what it is, right? So doing good things means doing things that God has instructed you to do, that God knows are good for you, right? And doing it for the sake of God as well, who created you, who's in charge of everything and is in control of everything. One of the things that you're instructed to do is be good to your family, for example. So like for somebody to listen to that, say prepare for death, and say, oh, well then you just go, you're a monk. You have to do that. You have to be a monk and just pray constantly and read the Quran constantly. It doesn't actually work like that. Part of being good and doing good things is being good to your family. Am I making sense? So yeah, that's how I try my best to, is to make sure I do my prayers that I'm supposed to do and try and do more. Try and do the extra things like actually learning about the religion, trying to learn about God and what my relationship is to Allah, right? Trying to be good and do good to people, for people, especially the people that I love and that I'm close to. Because, so I think I said it, but anyway, talking about preparing for death, you're talking about going to a place where you will be eternally, which is a big deal. You're there forever. And if you can get there, first of all, it's amazing if you can get there. And if you can get there with the people that are close to you in this world, so like my wife, my children, my parents, and whatever, grandchildren, if I am blessed to have them, and you get there and you're there forever with all of those people, like what else could I possibly dream of? You see? So if that's your goal, then, and you say, okay, well, how do I get there? Okay, I'm going to be a star actor. That's going to get me there. Just clearly, like, no, like it's obviously not. That's not what it is that's going to get you to get into that place. Even if you say, oh, I'm going to work a 9 to 5, that's going to get me there. That's not what it is that's going to get you there. But those are things that can potentially get you to be able to do things. So like if you're talking about doing good things, doing good things for the sake of God, those are things that could potentially help you to do those good things. So like if you do a 9 to 5, and that means that you can provide for your family, have a roof over your head, everyone can have food in their bellies, everyone can have clothes on their back, everyone can get from A to B whenever they need to, everyone can have a good education, everyone can feel comfortable, can be safe. If just having a 9 to 5 helps you do that, and you're happy with that, if you can genuinely know how to be grateful, then that's what you got to do, and just enjoy that part, even if you don't enjoy the 9 to 5 bit. Because like me being an actor, like I don't always enjoy acting. I don't always enjoy being an actor. I probably enjoy it less than I don't enjoy it in a way sometimes. You know what I mean? But it's a means to an end, and I do. And like, you know, when I do enjoy it, it's worth the parts that you don't enjoy, for sure. I'm not saying to people, oh, don't take a risk on anything. People should take risks, but like you got to just take the right kind of risks. And it's not just like, oh, everybody can be like if you just look at it as a zero-sum game, obviously not everybody can be a millionaire if that's what your goal is. Obviously not everybody can be a doctor. Obviously not everybody can be a star actor. But a lot of people can do a 9 to 5, become educated to do a good job, and have a decent life. Really, like I don't know. Yeah, anyway, yeah,
You're right. Yeah.
but honestly, like, I'm not saying to people don't take risks.
Let's talk. So, did you going door to door, getting door slammed in your face, make you not want to do a 9 to 5 and be an actor? Or I'm being a dick. No, how many times did you do? I'm being a dick. I'll read questions. Now, what was the worst thing that happened to you doing your door to door salesman stuff?
The worst thing?
Yeah, anyone piss on you or anything like that?
No, it's nothing like that.
Back off! Get away from the dog! Ah! Back hell!
No, you might, like, some people might just tell you off for like why are you knocking on my door kind of thing, like just tell you off, or like if you don't read the sign that says no, you know, like people have a little
no door to door salesman.
Yeah, exactly, that kind of thing. If you just don't read it, you don't see it, you just knock on the door because you just like trying to, you're nervous, you think I just want to make a sale kind of thing. Then it might tell you off and and slam the door in your face.
Straight slam though.
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes it's straight slam. The funniest one though was a guy once opened a door.
Yeah,
and I think the way he presented himself, he thought like I would just be like, I'd probably be like, oh, sorry to disturb you, and just kind of got on with my life. But it didn't really faze me. I just carried on doing my sales pitch. But he opened a door, and you know, like when people open a door fast, like to make a point, it's like, I'm here.
Yeah,
it was that kind of thing. And he was almost naked. It was just like shorts, I think. Yeah. But he was all tatted up. But I just remember he had his nipples pierced. That's all I can really remember. It was like, I think he was bald and he had his nipples pierced and loads of piercings. But I just always remember, because I was 16, I don't know if I'd ever seen it like in life, in front of my face, in the flesh, really in the flesh.
In the flesh.
Nipples were just pierced. I was like, that's interesting. It was just interesting.
What was you selling?
What was I selling? Charities. It was, when he, like, I don't think they do it. I don't think they're allowed to maybe do it door to door anymore. But like on the street, they will they stop you like outside tube stations and say, will you do a direct debit for this charity stuff? But we had like 7 different charities or whatever, so you can feel better about the fact that you're trying to persuade people to part with money that they probably wouldn't want to part with, kind of thing. It was that kind of thing. But like the whole I didn't like the culture of it. It wasn't for me.
Me, I did it.
But you know what?
I did it on the phones.
The phones. Apparently that's really soul destroying, because you're just there on a...
Yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible. That's new one for me. People was making money from it as well, but I was like, nah.
I couldn't make money from it.
No, like, I couldn't.
Nah.
I couldn't. You know, they got this thing, you're telling people the stuff on the thing, they got a script and all that. I couldn't. I had to do the same kind of thing in the States when I was selling, what was it? Personal training.
Oh, right.
But it's the same. It was just
but for you as a personal trainer.
No, if it was me, that was a thing. People was so fucking mad. Cause we talked to people, and they said, "Oh, well, if you could train me, I'll sign up now." Because they wanted to buy into my image and what I was doing. I was in good shape and everything. But I was just selling it. But I was selling it to people. Some people couldn't afford it. Some people coming with health issues and stuff. And like whatever reason you was there for, there was a formula in the book they gave us. They told us to say, okay, if you say you can't afford it because you got kids, this. So okay, so do you eat chocolate? You eat chocolate, yeah. All right, so you eat chocolate. How many chocolate bars you eat a week? So yeah, okay. So you add up all the chocolate bars. You say, okay, if you stop eating chocolate every week, you've actually got disposable income to this amount. Like, stop all of these mathematical things, which is totally unfucking fair and unrealistic. And then they say, yeah, but I eat chocolate only once a month as a treat, and I don't really have that much money anyway. And it's just, that's the only one thing that makes me keep going. And they say, okay, there's the FFF thing. It goes fuckery as hell. It goes, I understand how you feel. Other people have felt that way before. But what I've found is if you do this, this, and this, it's a brainwash.
It's all scientific.
Yeah, they give it, and it's horrible. Yeah. It's just, let me put it in your pocket. Let me keep my hand in your pocket.
It's really horrible. It's properly cynical. Yeah, I don't like that kind of thing at all.
Sales, it's horrible. I couldn't do sales. I can't do it. And I can't do it.
You know, that's the funny thing about that is that was like you were doing it like it was all on paper, like they gave you a kind of a script. Oh, it was a script because you were on the phone, so it was literally in front of you, right?
Listen, this is how bad it was.
Oh, no, that's the PT
like,
one.
No, in the gym, they would say, okay, they made you pour it out. Okay, so you got chocolate bar. You're writing it down. You're making them look at the thing like, and it's almost like you're going like that.
Yeah,
they tell you what to do.
Yeah,
they tell you how to do all that.
Yeah.
And even at the end of it, if they manage to get out, you bust that FFF thing. I understand how you feel.
Oh, FFF as in feel.
Felt found. It goes, I understand how you feel.
Yeah.
Other people have felt that way before. But what I found,
And he's compassionate.
and he's compassionate.
No,
It's so
finish that, please. Felt that way before, then what? But what I found.
Well, as it goes, I understand the way you feel.
Yeah.
Other people have felt that way before. But what I found, if you just apply yourself a little bit every week, or what I found, if you can just focus, or what I found, if you get past 2 days, you can make it all the way. You just fucking wash take your brain out, let me put it in the washing machine.
Yeah.
Wankers.
Yeah.
Wankers.
Yeah.
Because people are signing up. You know, people sign up and they don't come to the gym.
Of course.
Because there's no them, but you bring, and then once they sign off, because you just want them to sign off, they sign off to you. You get a couple of quid for the sales thing. Yeah. It's horrible, man. But yeah, we can talk about you.
No, it's
good to know about that stuff.
Because someone once said to me that, like, I know, and everything you just said. Who was a salesperson?
They're using their fucking heads. You got to listen. Listen.
He was saying, I know that, but the way I see it is, this is the only job I can get, and if I don't make money, because it's all commission, obviously.
Yeah, the sales guy.
Yeah. He's like, if I don't make that money, I can't feed my daughter. So I just need to do it. I need to persuade them to part with their money, even if I know that they don't have the money to give for this particular thing. I just have to persuade them to do it. Otherwise, I literally can't live.
What kind of work? Yeah, but it's horrible when.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. Don't get me wrong, but
I was finding that those ads in the paper, telesales, and that when I was like, still an actor trying to look for work, but not as much as before. When you're trying to look for work and get in and out of work, and you're just trying to find a pound note, it's horrible. They prey on all of it, bro. Prey on all of it.
Sorry, I'm drinking my
I know, it's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right. That's why I brought it over for you to drink it. But bruv, I really don't appreciate you promoting the fuckers though.
Oh yeah.
That I don't want. You can drink it all you like. They ain't sponsoring me. They sponsoring me. I think about putting them on the table. Do you know what I mean?
Of all the people to
yeah, they don't fucking sponsor me.
Right.
Fuckers.
What was your first acting role?
No. How do you see life?
Oh yeah. You literally come out with a question.
He reminded me. I asked him a question. That's what that was.
I thought he was being genuine.
Yeah. He was. No, he was. I was like, no. I'm no.
He wasn't being.
No, go on. What's your question?
What was my first acting role?
Yeah. What was your kind of like breakthrough? Your first
Oh.
role, you was like, okay.
First acting role is different
I've
to
landed.
breakthrough in a way. Yeah,
I've landed.
breakthrough. The thing is, you never feel like you've landed. No, actually, okay. There was one job I did where I felt like, okay, this should lead to other stuff where I can almost feel pretty stable. You never, as an actor, I don't think anybody feels stable ever. Even the ones that are making the most money, doing the most consistent work, I don't think you'll ever feel stable as an actor because you can't. I don't think you can anyway. But anyway, someone might argue with that. But did a TV show, I think we did the first series about 3 years ago, something like that. And when I got that part, and then obviously was going to get paid for it, the pay was all right.
How much?
Pardon?
How much?
No.
Per episode. I don't know the show. I don't know anything about it. I just know what you're saying now. You don't even say the show. How much?
I'm not going to
divulge that
information.
You try to say what is that sexy? We got confused. I'm not gonna.
Profit messed up.
That's right. Go.
Moving on. So, yeah, from getting that, knowing that it's going to be on TV and I've got a good sized part and I like the part as well, I thought like, yeah, I think I could do well with this part. But then. So doing that, I kind of thought, okay, this should lead on to, you never know, but I was like, this should lead onto doing more stuff, and just being consistent, even if it doesn't lead on to me being like a movie star or whatever. Just being consistent. That's all I really want, at least at the kind of minimum. Just have consistent, decent work and decent parts to play, and get paid for it, so I can support myself and my family, right? But because that show wasn't shown on it's the kind of show that could be shown on like ITV, Channel 5, or the equivalent kind of Sky, whatever, channel, whatever. But it wasn't shown on a channel that people even really know about, let alone whether they watch it or not. It was shown on a bigger...
or something like that.
No, I don't want to get too, because I don't want them to be listening and be like, oh, he doesn't respect our show or whatever. But because the show's actually really good. It's like, for what the kind of show it is. The thing I loved about that show is a kind of show where it does what it's supposed to do. It's not trying to be anything else. So because it's just doing what it's supposed to do, and the people that have created it are brilliant at what they're doing, the writers I'm talking about mainly, it's a brilliant version of that kind of show. Does that make sense? So if you watch it and you like that kind of show anyway, this might be on the top of your list because it is actually a really good show. But yeah, just probably wasn't shown in a place which is really seen by a lot of people in this country. And if you're just not visible, no matter how good the work is that you're doing, it doesn't exist to people in the industry that might be thinking about you for the next job or the next job or the next job. And if they're not thinking about you, then obviously they don't want you to be in their show. So it doesn't lead on to things. So that was, like, to answer your question, that was the one where I kind of thought like, yeah, okay, I think I might be all right now in terms of just stability. Didn't work out that way. Everything helps, you know what I mean? Everything leads on to something else, but it didn't work out like that at all. So I never take anything for granted now. Even when I say like I've got a Disney film that will be, I can't even say what it's called, sorry. But even once that comes out, right now, I feel like I probably...
Is that good money?
Well, like if you're acting on screen, you're probably getting good money. But at the same time, it's like... That's why I say it's always going to still be a risk.
It's not consistent money. It's
not consistent. So like if you do that job that's paying you good money, and if you're like me, you might not do another one like that for a year. Maybe you get some little bits in between, but you might not do another one that's paying you good money for another year. So you got to make that money last for a year, and you got to remember taxes as well. Like they're not taking the taxes out of your money when you get paid. So you got to make sure that what you're thinking, oh, I'm getting this much money, you got to make sure you got to take away like a third of that and think the rest of that, that's what I've got. Okay, that's got to last me maybe a year, if it's enough to last you a year, and think, okay, and balance it out like that. It's still stressful, you know what I mean? Because you never know. You might get something in less than that year, but you might not get anything for another 2 years, really. So like, yeah, that's really, like, you can never actually feel stable. That's that first question. But the first job that I actually got was straight out of drama school. Did a fringe show in the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. A play called, I think it's just called Galileo. It's about Galileo anyway. By Bertolt Brecht. So that was just like a fun thing, but it was nice because you come out of drama school, even though like no pay, nothing like that. But even though you're not getting paid, it's a small scale in that sense. Like it's not going to make you famous or anything like that. It's not necessarily really even going to lead on to anything else. But to get something straight out of drama school, you feel like, okay, maybe I'm all right at this, because I don't know how you feel actually. You should answer, if you can answer that question.
I never went to drama school.
No. What I was going to ask is, or what I'm going to say about myself even is, I just think it's impossible to really know if you're any good at it. I just don't think you can ever.
Acting,
yeah. I don't think you know, like, no matter how much belief you have in yourself, to really know is actually impossible, because you can't be objective. And nobody else can be objective either. So no one could. And also, you might never get work, but still be a brilliant actor. You might get loads of work. And obviously, people see actors on the screen and you go, but they're not very good. But they get work all the time. So you can never really know if you're any good.
No, because for me, obviously, I'm a director. So I remember my early stages, I was just a cameraman, just running around with a camera. But I remember, like, there was, after I'd done 2 particular jobs, I was like, okay, cool. I can put the director badge on now.
Right.
Like, I'm a director. So that's what I was kind of trying to find out. Where did you get to that point where you was like, I'm an actor?
Oh, to the point of I'm an actor? To me anyway, that's a different question. To me, that's me saying, okay, I'm an actor and I'm a professional, I'm employable, I know what I'm doing. I can always turn up and do the job. When did I know that? That was... that kind of confidence I had from even before I left drama school. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It's delusional, because like you still get into the business and then someone says you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong, and it's a kind of business where like everybody's allowed to have their opinion. So you're always under scrutiny. But yeah, no, within myself. But that's the thing as well. Like, oh yeah, what time is it?
You're fine.
No, but am I though?
What's that supposed to mean?
Like, am I actually fine?
What is that? I don't know what that's supposed to mean.
You see, like, it's time to pray. So
you was fine for me.
Yeah, for you. But I'm saying, like,
you used to pray
for my life. Yeah, not right now.
What time at?
The prayer was at 4:40 or 4:38 today. But there's a window. It's not like
you never told me.
No, I know, because I didn't think.
What's the window? How long you got?
Until whatever. But also, I've got a wife waiting for me.
Your wife's good, man. She knows what you're doing. No, she's good. She can see the interview as well. She's amazing.
Yeah, she is amazing. I told her to leave.
No, don't let her leave. You'll be going soon.
Yeah. No, we'll.
Do you want to pray before we carry on?
No, let's carry on. I've still got a bit of time before I have to pray. Do you know what I mean?
All right, let's.
So yeah.
So let's, because all right, I'm gonna spend a couple more minutes on, or a little bit more on film and that. And I want to talk Islam with you afterwards.
Mm.
Yeah. What's your favourite film?
Favorite top number one film.
Yeah.
The list is always changing, right? Like if you say my top 5, my list is always changing.
Go on.
But there were 2 films that are always on that top 5 list. Always, whatever happens, whatever changes. The 2 was that.
I'm gonna write it down as well because there must be good films.
Yeah, but no, but the top 2 are obvious to a lot of people, and that's Matrix. And The Godfather, yeah. You don't have to write anything down. And Godfather 1 and 2 though, I'll just put as one film. I can't just like put my top 5 as. Why one film?
Why did them 2 films your top 2 films?
Oh man, for me, The Matrix does pretty much everything as a film. It pretty much does everything. It's first of all, it's about something. Like it's really about something in terms of thematically, right? It's about something. If you watch it, most people who enjoy the film can take something from that which affects their life directly, but you can actually take as like something that you've learned and go, in my life I can apply this. Even just like I mean, because we're all a little bit older, so a lot of young people would literally just won't remember that film and won't have seen that film. I'll bust lines
from that film all day long.
Exactly. So. But even just that one thing is where they say he's the one or you're the one. Just being the one. So much of what that film is about is just encapsulated in those 2 words, the one, right? So it's about something which you can really use as a human being. The way that story is told and that kind of lesson is put across is second to none. Like there are very few films, if you're just talking about films, which get that across to you in a way which is entertaining, which is completely engaging and exciting, exciting on an adrenal level, where like inside you're excited when you're watching this film, like start to finish. If you like that kind of film, start to finish, you're just excited and you're involved and you're in it, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. You're on levels when you watch that film. There are very few films that can actually do that. I mean, that's enough, really. But also, it's the kind of film which is a genuine classic. A lot of films you watch and you think that film was amazing, that changed my life. But then 10 years down the line, is it a bona fide classic? Did it change anything? That film changed so much in the world of film and watching film.
Storytelling.
Compared to so many other films that exist and have kind of come and gone. Like people, like even I was talking to someone the other day who has never seen it, and she was like, "Oh, it's that film with the slow motion thing." And even when she did it, I was like, "What's she talking about?" And I was like, "Oh yeah,
you remember
that was for that moment," because like I'll have breaks from that film because I want to be able to try and get as close to the first time watch experience.
Oh, you do, yeah?
Yeah. Like at some point, I'll try and watch it again and because like I would have forgotten so much about the film, or try to forget so much about the film, so you can enjoy it. So like.
The worst thing is how DVDs look. I'm pissed.
What do you mean? I mean the picture quality when you're watching it?
I've got a DVD collection and I'm I tried to watch a DVD. Something crashed on the internet the other day. Okay. And I said, let me put a DVD in.
Nah.
And my jaw dropped. My jaw dropped. It was like watching a freaking pirate.
Yeah, it's different. You got to find it now. You got to find it on a streamer or whatever.
Nah, I watched the old ones to understand what I thought was fantastic. Bruv, I've got an extensive DVD collection, and some of the stuff you can't. They've deleted, and they've edited in such a way you won't see it the same way. Bad Boys, the original Bad Boys. I think, what's his face? Will Smith has an orgy, right? No, but. Hear me out. He has an orgy.
Oh, like you could discover him on the bed with like.
He has an orgy. He has an orgy with some girls, but you see him wake up with the 2 girls.
Yeah.
At the beginning, the very beginning, and he gets up and he goes and he's got a video camera facing the bed. He looks at the video camera. He's like, woo, wow, woo. But he cut that out. That's not in the normal one now.
You can't watch that now.
No, I never see that. It's not in the normal one.
So like if they put the film on Sky, let's say, whatever.
That's not in there.
It's not in there.
It's not in there.
Is it?
It's not in there, and there's stuff. I've got videos as well at home. There's stuff that's on video. They've taken out the movies you will not see again. Then there's stuff they've chopped out because of modern day political correctness.
Right.
As well.
Right.
Like, remember Eddie Murphy had that whole thing with the gay thing on Raw or in Mr. T being gay.
And his,
remember that?
Stand up. Yeah, what do you mean? It's not on, you can't see that anymore?
No, but they cut. I'm just giving you that as an example. Maybe you can see that one, but there's other shows that had stuff in it that have been cut out. That were classics, that have been certain jokes, certain things just been cut out, bro. Been cut out. But sorry, I digressed. What was you saying now? I told you I get excited when it comes to film. You're talking about the Matrix and going back and watching it for the first time and making it be like it's the first time you watched it.
Yeah, but I think you were just asking me like, why is it my top? Why was my top? Or maybe you asked, maybe I don't know, but why it was one of my top films? It's just those reasons are enough. There are other reasons in it, but I just think on so many levels, it's pretty much a perfect film.
It's a Godfather.
Have you ever seen The Godfather?
Nigga, please. Excuse my French. Sorry, guys. I really didn't need to say that word. I don't like that word, but it was just a saying. Yeah, but please, man. Of course I've seen it. I've seen The Godfather back and front. Back and front, front and back. I didn't like 3 that much, but 3's good. But
3's good, but it's not on the level.
And 2, oh my God. And when you go back like to when Michael Corleone's dad, you know, like the guy when it's Marlon Brando, isn't it?
Marlon Brando. It's my favourite actor.
No. Robert De Niro, man.
You telling me no, my favourite actor? No.
What I'm saying is, no, Marlon Brando's in 1. Robert De Niro is a young Marlon Brando.
Oh, he's the dad.
That's what I'm saying. So when you go, that's what I said. No.
Okay,
when you go back, and Marlon Brando is Robert De Niro because it's the same character.
Yeah.
But Robert De Niro, oh man, like when these people offer him, like he gets fired so the other guy can have a job. And the guy goes, he goes,
remember that bit.
Okay, so he's working in the store. He works half with family.
You remember it as I can't watch.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. You should know what's going on.
Well, so he
gives you a spoiler alert. Godfather was a classic film. If you ain't seen it, you should have. If you're not the scene, then get to know. I'm going to break it down for you right now. So he's working at the store. But then a local gangster comes in. The local gangster wants his son to have a job. Yeah. So the local gangster says to the store, "No, I need my son to have a job. Blah blah blah. Give him a job." So he takes Robert De Niro's job. So,
I do remember.
When he's going, because he feels bad. He tries to give him a box of food. Yeah. Robert De Niro's like, no.
Yeah, he's probably dignified about it and magnanimous.
And the fucking do you know the sense of you know, like, I can't explain it. You know the self-respect you have. Yeah. By being able to say no.
Yeah.
No, I'm good. You keep no. That respect level. Aye. I've done it a couple times, like, and you just feel so much better when you refuse people stuff. No. You're bigger, better than that.
And you see how that affects you. As a person, Ayo, how like you're saying, like you've done that, like the respect level that you feel like you as a human being get by doing something like that. That's genius storytelling, because that scene doesn't have to be in that film to tell the main story, but it's setting up the stuff that we see in the first film that plays in the first episode, because you see him as an older man who is respected by everyone, and you don't necessarily know exactly why he's respected, but there's an example. So you're going forward to go back, and then it's just putting it all together. It's just that the whole thing is genius. It's absolute genius.
The way they put all the characters, Clemenza, all them people that have the Vitelli oil, the olive oil company. When he says, "I make him an offer he can't refuse." Yeah. Bars, bro. Yeah. That's a big film, bro.
Of course. I mean, the film's pretty much perfect. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how you could really say anything negative about
even Pacino, the young Pacino, when he comes into his own. It shows
his development through the 1 and 2. Like you've just never seen.
But youngers always do it though. You got to understand, I've seen it in families that I know.
Oh, in real life families.
In real life. The youngest prees everything, and the youngest becomes the strongest, the most intelligent, the fiercest out of all of them. Because they learn from everyone else. And they're quiet. They ain't got no voice when they're young. Right, when they're all they can do is watch.
And listen,
And when they decide to implement, woo come on. Go on, this is more about film. Top film, I start salivating. I'm like, go for it. What's next?
Well, okay, so the next 3, there's no order, by the way.
I don't care about the order.
Next 3, there's no order. But right now,
I'm going to bust another line. Court order. I don't know what I know court order.
Which one's that from?
That's from Boomerang. Like he's trying to talk to the girl. He goes, stay away, I got that court order. She goes, court order. I don't know about that court order. What's about my height, my size, doggy style. Sorry, you know. God.
No, of course I've seen it, but like that's how bad my memory is. I can't remember a word of what you just said. Anyway, so I'll put the other 3. I'll just say them out, and then you can say what you want after that. what's it even called? Groundhog Day.
Woo!
Pulp Fiction.
Hey,
And
I like that.
2001, Space Odyssey 2001. Controversial.
You know what? For when it came out and what it did, it was pioneering. The cinematography in that film is amazing, amazing. But because it was so slow, I could watch it, but I couldn't. Like I wanna like boom, like you say, Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
I've got the stabbing her in the heart, the fucking the dancing, the bad motherfucker, when he gets fucked up the arse and that. You got when he gets fucked up the arse.
When you do the motion, the physical motion.
No, whatever. What's the other film we said now? Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day.
Bill!
Yeah.
Punches him in the mouth.
Yeah.
That's a good film. What are your favourite films? Sorry.
Why?
Yeah.
To me, like, when you put everything together, 2001, honestly, is a slightly difficult one because I haven't seen it for a long time. But it made a massive impression on me at the time when I saw it last. Yeah. But you're talking about...
It's old, man.
I know it's old. It's older than me. But I mean, like, when I saw it, and I think I've only seen it once... and that would have been
long as well.
Like at least 10 years ago anyway. At least 10 years ago. Actually more than that, like maybe like 12, 13 years ago. But then Groundhog Day, I watched again not too long ago, like in the past 1 or 2 years.
Classic.
It's a classic. That's another one that's perfect, in my opinion. But it's pretty much perfect. And like...
Bill Murray. Oh,
Bill Murray's genius anyway. But if you even look at the construction of the film itself, and it's like talking about this, we were talking about existence a minute ago, like about what it means to be alive, what is the purpose of life. That's like the classic.
It epitomizes it.
Yeah, of these existential questions. Like a guy who's literally alive on the same day but for years, and you don't know how he's alive so long that he learns how to play the piano to a classic, like a classically trained level. He reads all of philosophy. He goes for a massive change as a human being, but that change takes years and years and years of days and days and days, right? Yeah. But it's never made clear how long it is, but it's clear that it's a very long time. Imagine existing through the same day in a place that you hate, with weather you hate, with people you hate, every day for years, to go through that. And the way they do it, the way Bill Murray gets that across, and the way they do it with comedy, I mean, the film is genius.
It's a very good film.
It's genius. What were the other ones I said? Pulp Fiction. That's a near perfect film. There's literally one moment in that film where I start to go, okay, like, and it. Not enough, but it kind of goes, like it sags, and you go, I'm exhausted, and then it picks back up again, and you have to be back in it.
Do you know the part?
There's a part, like it goes from different stories.
Yeah. I know the film
and
like very well, bro.
Like it goes into like a slow fade into black 2 or 3 times, but there's one when it goes into black and then comes back up. I don't think the Butch story with what's his name?
When he gets fucked up the arse.
You're obsessed with that part of the film.
No, I'm not. It's just part. It's just like it's part of the film.
Before that bit, when it goes into his story about the watch, like he has a boxing match, doesn't he?
That's what he gets fucked up.
Yeah, but it's not immediate. It's like he escapes.
Okay, he escapes the thing, and he gets upset with her because she's like, I want blueberry pancakes, and he gets mad, and he goes, and then he goes, he left the watch, and he's driving, and then he actually sees Big Rhymes, and he runs him over, and he shoots John Travolta's in the toilet.
Yeah,
he shoots John Travolta dead, but then John Travolta sees later
you're reminding me too much of the film, man.
You've seen the film, though, bro.
I'm literally gonna watch that film this weekend with my wife, and her sister.
Oh, I want myself here.
Them two haven't seen.
Be cool, honey bunny. You cool? Like the Fonz.
Why? Anyway, let's talk about something else because you're just like bringing out all. Spoiling the film even for me.
I'm a bad motherfucker. It's on my wallet. All right. Sorry. All right. What we got? Let's talk about Islam because we got.
All right.
Yeah, we got time. Let's talk about Islam.
Yeah.
And let's talk about right, we can talk about loads of different stuff. What do you think about the stuff that's going on in Iran? I spoke to your wife about that, with the burning of the hijab and the beating of the woman, the killing of the woman, and then the ripple is sent around the world because your wife, and I can see quote because I interviewed her earlier on today. It all began out probably consecutively, anyways, back to back. But she illuminated something for me within that, and I already know something as well. And then my thing, what I know is that the same thing about the mob and the disparity, the propaganda machine. They're giving us. I know that a woman was beaten to death because she wasn't wearing a hijab. Like, I know that this is what from the news I've got. I know that they've got people in prison. They say this is the news they gave me. They got women in prison because of not wearing their hijabs as well, and they call this revolt in there. It's mandatory for people, whether they're Muslim or not, to wear hijabs in Iran or is it Iran?
I think it's Iran.
In Iran. That's another thing I've heard.
Yeah, it's Iran.
Also, no, this is negative publicity. No, it shouldn't be covered, but it's negative. You know what I'm saying?
What part of it are you talking about that's negative? And to who?
What part of it's negative?
Yeah. Obviously, there's more than one, but the thing you're talking
for me,
about
the level of violence in retaliation to the lack of adhesion to the law.
Yeah.
That is, to me, is like what world are we living in when not only can someone's life be taken for something, but it can be taken so quickly and so instantly without any court form of investigation or even conversation. They had 3 guys that were from London in Ukraine that had gone there to fight and shoot guns at people. They was in prison and they had more compassion for their lives than they did for this woman who got beaten to death, bro. I don't know that, but come on, do you know what I'm saying? And it's easy for the news to talk about this, but they always show me pictures of people that went and picked up a gun and went to war. I'm not saying they should have been killed or nothing, but they went to war, cuz. This woman has just taken off hijab. She's trying to exercise, and I don't know totally, but she's living in a country that's doing this stuff, but she's killed. Do you know, like, all right, broke a law, beaten, not good. Prison, not good. Whatever else, like in reprimand, not good, but killed and then beaten to death, bro. The fuck is going on?
This is a huge.
The fuck is really going on?
This is a massive subject, though. This is the thing. Like, you're now also getting into, like, I'm not qualified enough. Is my opinion. This is really where I stand. I'm not. It's not about like being careful or anything like that. I'm genuinely not qualified enough. I always think I'm not qualified enough to talk about the way things happen in another country and in another culture. Because this is because like this is a really important point actually. You said let's talk about Islam. Then you started talking about something which is not actually Islam. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're not talking about Islam really right now. We're talking about a culture and about a state.
Yeah, but sorry, let me just stop you. But you see the way I've been giving it.
Yeah,
I've been giving it like it is Islam.
It's Islam.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and anyone who doesn't know, that's why I have to talk to someone who knows about Islam to tell me the separation. Because your wife, I keep quoting her, but she said there's culture and there's a religion.
Oh, she says yeah, because
it says culture and religion is 2 different things. But we have to know because they're selling it as one package, bro.
Yeah. For me, on a personal level, it's a huge deal. The people are going around thinking, because it's being sold to everyone. It's
being sold as one package because I identify synonymous hijab with being in Islam. I identify
what? Say again.
The hijab is part of being in Islam. It's part of the religion.
The hijab is part of the religion.
It's part of religion. So when you tell me someone's getting reprimanded for not wearing a hijab, I'm not thinking about the laws in that country. I'm thinking about the religion.
Right.
That's what I'm saying to you. So they put it in a certain way. We're not listening. They're not saying, no, everybody, even non-Muslims, this have to wear it in Iran. They're just telling you that she's been burned for not wearing a hijab. So that's why I said they've drawn confusion.
Yeah, so let me ask you a question. So as somebody who's on the outside of the religion, like you obviously speaking for a lot of different people, but as someone who's on the outside of the religion, doesn't know much about Islam necessarily, like on that sort of level, when you see it in the news, when you see it, the way it's pumped into you, it looks like she is, according to the religion, justifiably been killed. Is that right?
No.
So when you say it's packaged into one,
I think it's packaged into one. I think the religion is being made. They've been
or it's the fault of the religion.
Yeah, they're making it like this is what happens in that religion. If you're there, it's not. I don't believe. What did you just say that she's? What did you say?
Yeah, the way I said it was confusing.
I don't believe it's that.
Yeah,
I don't believe it's that. But all I'm thinking is, so now Muslim men will kill their women if they don't wear the hijab.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what I'm getting from.
If you want to get it,
but not people from Iran have got laws in their country. Right. Where if you're a thief in certain countries, you get your hand chopped off. All I'm hearing is, if you're a Muslim woman and you don't wear your hijab, people they will beat you and kill you. Or this woman's been beaten and killed for this.
Yeah, you have to. You have to definitely. People definitely have to look at that and say it's hard because if you're not on the inside of either the religion or those particular cultures, you will never know. Like you're saying, it's really hard. But if anybody can learn a little bit from this and from what my wife has said, whatever, is that when anything that you see in the news, especially in Western media, that says anything which looks like it's about the religion, first assumption should be it's not about the religion, it's about the culture and about the state and about the way they have interpreted. Obviously, they've interpreted parts of the religion for their own, with their own understanding for their own gain.
Cool. Stay that one more time in the beginning part. If you see the news or something and they talk about religion, it's more than likely about...
It's about their culture and their state. State meaning as in the way their state is formed, being a country, or the reason I say state is because it's actually quite a loaded word. But when you're talking about a state, it's about who's at the top, the way they govern the country, the way the laws and the constitution of that country, of that state,
are implemented.
Is not only implemented, but what is literally down on paper. Even if it's not down on paper, what is culturally accepted to be laws, rules, regulations, customs. All of those things are built up over centuries into when you're talking about states, especially if the state has actually existed for centuries, right? But definitely if the people of that place have been there for centuries, almost always, right? So all of that has come from customs and things that have developed over time through human beings. And kind of at root, their kind of idiom, whatever that they're in, is Islam, but they've interpreted it and reinterpreted over centuries, literally. And so where they get to a point where in their state, if you don't wear the hijab, you're imprisoned. It's against the law. So you're imprisoned. It's justified that you could be killed or whatever. That's what they believe. And they might not even believe it as a religious thing, but that's their rule. But it's not necessarily about the religion. That's not something that the religion says. So yeah, people should definitely always, I've rambled a bit, but people should always assume that when they get the news, especially if it's from Western, what they call Western media, is that thing that they're seeing. First of all, it might not be a majority thing anyway, as in a majority opinion, because the news is only ever going to be bad news, first of all. Secondly, it doesn't make the news if it's good news, really. Do you know what I mean? Secondly, you have to assume that it's their culture, their laws, and not the religion. There may be some little thing that they've taken from the religion and they've interpreted it in a particular way.
What's
Does
the
that make
best?
sense? Because that's actually quite important.
Yeah. I mean, it's not something. Some things, you know, like some things I know, but I can't articulate. Some things are inherent, but like everyone's has to also like take things with a pinch of salt. And basically look at what's being said to them, what's going on. And even when you look at stuff that's happened even more recently, and you like cross-reference everything, it's like you have to really just like look at the facts for yourself and analyze it. So what you said makes sense, but I personally just like that thing there, it's like it hurt me, but then I went and looked more and more about it. Then I haven't found that totally, but I know that Iran is, like you said, it's a culture. Then they've got a whole bag of people in prison from the same thing. That this has been going on for years.
Of course.
It's not a new thing. So
Yeah.
then when I know it's been going on for years and there's people in prison that's died because of it, people that have been in prison because of it before, why am I only hearing about it now? 'Cause I haven't heard about it. That's the first I've really heard about it. That's me personally. So then it just goes down to what you're saying, the propaganda machine and the manipulation. So I have to look at it, at why is it being said, what's being said. Do I want to take this on board right now? What else is going on? Because like
your wife mentioned that it's happened to a lot of other women as well.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not being reported.
Yeah, that's exactly what you're saying.
Yeah,
Exactly.
So you got COVID. You got before COVID, there was loads of knife crime. You got I don't even know what's prevalent right now. Then you got the Ukraine war. Then you got NSARS, and I'll say it again in Nigeria going on. You know about NSARS, right?
Not much, but yeah.
NSARS, armed robbing, and anti-robbery squad. Right? They killed the robbers.
Yeah.
Now they started becoming the robbers.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But it's been going on for time. And they're killing people.
Yeah.
And they're telling people like, there's a thing on documentary on YouTube. Parents
There's
coming,
drugs
where's my
involved
son?
in it as well, aren't there? There's drugs involved in it as
but
well.
it's
aren't
all
there?
money in it.
Yeah,
But where's my son? We've killed your son. There's nothing you can do about it. How can someone tell you they've killed your son? There's nothing. These are police talking to you, cuz.
Yeah.
Imagine we're dealing with stuff here, but police are telling people that, like, imagine police saying to you, we've killed your brother. You know you could do? Fuck off. Get out of the station.
Yeah.
they wouldn't sit here. You could do would burn the place down.
Yeah.
But it's happening in Nigeria. Things are happening around the world that they're not reporting, but they report this now. It's like a bad light you're showing. Like you get what I'm saying, rather than showing the whole full picture. So what you said does make sense, Ansu. Don't want to hog the mic anymore. I want you to talk, please, sir.
No, but what do you want me to talk about? Because this is so big. I will just go on forever, and we need to obviously.
All right, we've still got quite a bit of time. All right,
but I've got to talking about Islam. I've got to pray as well.
All right. If there's anything you could say you wanted to get across about Islam, you personally, or your journey in it, let's condense that. Then let's talk about. I want to talk about your marriage after that, and you meeting your wife, because I think it was beautiful. And then we can kind of close up, and you can ask me 1 or 2 questions, and then we can. Yeah.
I guess one trying to keep it kind of simple, and still relating to the conversation we were just having. So, sorry to if it felt like I was shutting it down.
I'm just happy I'm here with you, bro.
No, me too. But maybe it's something that people would like to hear more about. But anyway,
it's good to be careful, bro, as well. Like with your words, because people are going to take things away and then implement stuff as well. So I love the way you talk, but I'm just saying I love the way you talk with respect. You take time before you say stuff. I just blah, 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 blah. You take time. It's good.
You're still thinking about what you're saying. It's just
sometimes it just comes out though, and the wizard will edit it for me. So you won't get to see that.
Okay. But yeah, when it comes to Islam and faith, the thing that makes me really sorry is that it's such a beautiful religion, and it's such an all-encompassing religion. There's so much in it, and all positive. Obviously, I would say all positive. Some people, but whatever. I don't think you can really, if you really looked at what is actually in the religion, anyone. I don't think any human being would look at it and say that that's not beautiful. They might say it's not for me. They might say it's not for my children or my family even. But to look at it and say it's ugly, I don't think anybody would really ever say that if they really looked at it. And so when people say that it's ugly, and it's all based on like what you were talking about, where you're looking at events and facts of certain places in the world and certain things that have happened even in this country, obviously, and in America, all different parts of the world, talking about what comes into the news or what makes the news, it's ugly. All of that makes the religion ugly. That's the thing that really, really makes me sad and really upset, because people who are outside of the religion don't necessarily get to see what's beautiful because it's not put in front of them. Everybody can obviously, one amazing and positive thing, especially now where information is prevalent, is that everybody can take it upon themselves to actually go and find something out, something that's genuinely the religion. But if you are only taking what you receive without having to put any work into it, you may only ever get the negative stuff. And not realizing that negative stuff you're getting isn't actually a true representation of the religion. That's a representation of a few human beings. And if you look at human beings, nobody's perfect. Nobody can say that they're a perfect even the best Muslim in the world can say that they're a perfect representation of Islam. So sometimes, anyway.
What was it like finding your wife, and how did you find her, and how was it joy? Because I'll tell you, listen, when she sent me the video of you two's wedding, the twinkle in your eye, oh my God, and the shine in hers, I was like, this is fucking amazing. It filled my whole body with joy watching that video. I couldn't even get to talk to you. You know, I phoned you straight away. Like, the fact that when we spoke the next time, I phoned you, like, when I saw the video, I didn't realize that, I just found it. But I phoned you straight away, but the phone rang out, I was so excited, I was so happy, it was so beautiful. I think, if I could measure it, there must have been about like it's in between my fingers. I'm squeezing as well, but that must have been saying, why the hell didn't I get invited? but only that. You see, don't you don't have to tell me why not. But only that, and I'm squeezing quite hard. You can see, and that's about that. Other than that, it was all joy. It was even joy. I just wondered what the food tasted like at the wedding. You know, how greedy. But wow.
All that, you know.
Wasn't all that?
The food on all
Thank you, good. No, sorry. No, I'm not good. I'm not glad. I'm just glad you told me that, so I didn't miss any. I thought I missed something.
It wasn't as good as it should have been, considering the price.
Money
but
spent.
What it was, the only reason that you and a lot of people weren't invited was because it was small. We could only have like 35 5.
Yeah, I wasn't
People
jealous
like
at all. Though I was happy. My happiness far exceeded
I appreciate that. Like,
far
yeah.
exceeded. I was so happy. Like I really couldn't contain myself. I really was like, I nearly burst, Ansu. I was so fucking happy, man. Seriously. Considering the conversation we had before, we don't need to talk about that, but considering the conversation we had before, and then the next conversation we had, and then getting that video, I was like, wow! Hey! Let's talk to me about Heba and your meet, if you want to.
Yeah, no, we can talk about it.
And your meeting and then the proposal and then
you just got really good at asking like really massive questions. I'm just thinking, how do I? No, but I mean massive in the sense of like, where do I even begin and how much is relevant to answer the question? There's loads of it.
What do you mean? How did you meet?
Well, how we met was on matching site called or app called well, it was called Muzmatch, as in Muslim match, but now they're not allowed to use the word match, so it's just called Muz. But it's a matching site basically for Muslims, and the brilliant thing about it is that they've invested a lot in like the interface, and they promote it really well and all that kind of thing, and it just works. And a lot of the other ones maybe don't work as well. So the brilliant thing about that is that everybody who's looking for a partner is on Muzmatch, and you know, like being a Muslim, if you're looking for another Muslim, you wanna try and can I use the word halal?
Halal.
Hello.
Not hello, halal.
Oh, halal. Yeah, so...
I said hello. Did you think I said hello?
It literally sounded like you said hello.
No, halal.
I said, like, I've been away and now I'm back.
No, halal, like where we left off from.
Yeah, so talking about halal, like for those who don't know anyway, that just basically means what's allowed and what's good in Islam. What's allowed and what's good for you. And the two have to go hand in hand, by the way. Anyway... yeah, so people who wanna get married, want to partner up with their match and do it in a halal way, it's just a really good place to go, because you know that everybody's trying to do that. For the most part, everyone's trying to do that, and so if that is your intention, then you go on that site, and it's kind of like worldwide. Or at least in a lot of countries, it's kind of like there's only one site where you're really going to go. So everybody who's looking for a partner is on that site. So I was on that site. I was on it for some time, but it never, you know, like you just have a kind of love-hate with these sorts of things, and it was kind of up and down, in and out. Then found her on it, and I was like,
Heba.
Yeah, Heba. She ticked all the boxes. I was just like, yeah, that's the one. And then I went for it, and then and she responded, and then we met up, and then it all turned out very nicely. But it was quick.
Come on! You missed that. Go on.
It was but the whole process was quick, because the whole thing about making it halal was like, strictly speaking, you're not supposed to, like, the whole boyfriend and girlfriend thing, it doesn't work in Islam, right? You're supposed to find someone based on certain it sounds really cold and clinical, but it's not. It's just fundamental. It's down to the fundamentals. So there's kind of like a couple of things that you need to look for in your partner. If they have those things, then you make the commitment. And so she had those things, so I made the commitment. She agreed, and it was like, you know, we got married, and it was all beautiful. And here we are.
Very happy for you.
Thank you very much.
Very happy for you. If you could describe the feeling when you... Explain to me what a Muslim marriage is like. Because it's not like a Western wedding or marriage, is it?
No, but like you can, like, so again, culture is all things in the religion. There are certain things that you have to have in the religion, and they're very simple, and they take very little time. So what you need is the two people to agree that they want to marry each other.
You think?
No, but it's worth saying, because like another thing, like people talk about arranged marriages and but forced marriages, right? Because arranged means something different to forced. Arranged just means like you get introduced to, two people get introduced to each other, and that's an arranged meeting. But if they're forced to marry each other, that's a different thing. And a lot of people on the outside of the religion seem to think that it's always forced, but it's not. Well, I mean, obviously it is sometimes, but that's cultural. Does that make sense based on what we were talking about before, right? Wait, I've had a blank. What did you ask me again?
We're talking about how when you get married.
Oh, what actually happens? How does it
yeah.
work? Right. So the two people. So these are the simple things. Two people need to agree to get married to each other, right? And as I say, you look for certain things in each other that are kind of, advised by the religion, and you need to have witnesses, one on either side. And you need to have what's called a wali of the woman, which is basically the protector. So it's usually the dad. But it could be like, say like big brother, for example, or whatever. Usually something like that. But it's usually,
It's all right, you didn't hit me, you hit the mic.
Oh, okay. It's usually the dad.
Yeah.
Right, so that person has to be there to say, do you, of the woman, say to the woman, do you actually want to marry this man? Do you feel like it's going to be safe and you'll actually want to do it? You're not forced to do it by anybody. And for if it's the dad to say, okay, I think that you are going to treat my daughter well and keep her safe and provide for her and all this kind of thing. Yes, you can. You're allowed to marry each other, sort of thing. And then the two witnesses who hopefully would be independent from them, so not like if as the man, not my dad, really, sort of thing. And that's actually it. You don't actually, strictly speaking, you don't even need to have an imam. Always, you just always do, but strictly speaking, you don't.
So wait, just once you have that conversation of consent, that's it?
And there's witnesses to say that, yes, these two people are married, and they can go to the community and say, yeah, they are married. So like when they're walking down the street with each other or whatever, or being together in public.
No rings, no nothing?
It doesn't have to. Obviously people do. Most people do, but you don't have to. Literally what I've just said to you is all you have to have. Strictly speaking, I'm not a scholar, so I don't want people to I would hate it for people to take everything I say as
and they say, no,
gospel.
it's not that. Yeah.
No, so for people to take it as gospel, go and take it somewhere else, and then because you should always check things out. But strictly speaking, you don't even have to be in the same room, in the same place, or in the same city as each other to get married. As long as you actually agree, you don't have to be in the same place to get married to each other. You could, obviously you're going to come together at some point, but if you agree. So yeah.
How do you consummate?
No, I'm talking about the marriage itself. To say for the
I'm just being silly,
for the community to say, yeah, but some people might take it seriously. For the community to say that these two people are married, and to witness it, they don't have to be in the same place at the same time. As long as those witnesses say, okay, yes, we know that they're married. If they're in two different places, when the marriage itself is happening, that's the marriage. Then obviously they come together. The man and the woman come to live together and do what they got to do.
All right.
But yeah, everything else, literally everything else, then that's what I'm saying about the beauty of the religion. Is so much of it is very simple, and it's the fundamentals. Everything else you see, for example, a lot of cultures have the henna, like in Asia especially, some of North Africa will have henna. And so people sometimes associate when they see women with henna that oh, that's about a wedding. It probably is about a wedding, but that's not part of an Islamic wedding. It's just culturally, that's the thing that they've come to do, and they that's part of the celebration, sort of thing.
I always think that, but Asians, like Indians, have a lot of henna. Is that separate to?
Well, I mean, Indian Muslims and Indian or South Asian Muslims, South Asian Hindu people. I'm pretty sure Sikh. Again, it's not my area, but pretty sure as well have henna as part of their traditions when they get married.
Okay, what's the best advice you've ever been given? Sorry, let me say that. What's the best advice you've ever been given?
The best advice? This is, I need time. You're going to have to edit this out.
What's the worst advice you've ever been given? I've got lots of questions, buddy. One of the
worst pieces of advice is, do as I say, not what I do. And that's been given by multiple people, I think. But
teachers used to say that shit in class.
I've never.
Dickheads. Do as I say, not as I do. Shut the fuck up. Fuck off. They be drinking. I had one teacher who used to eat sweets because he was so drunk all the time, like mint sweets.
All right. Okay.
God, I didn't realize when I was older that he was drunk.
It's one of them. It's one of those ones that a small child knows there's something wrong with that piece of advice or whatever you want to call it. A small child, you just know, as a human being, that doesn't make any sense.
But you question as a child. You question, you're like, why?
Yeah.
Why? Just do it.
Best advice.
What's the worst thing you've ever seen
ever seen?
Yeah, I've got loads of questions here for you, buddy. This is a quick fire round.
The first thing that comes to mind is there was this kind of video going around, and it was actually a piece of art, but as it came in a video, it didn't. You couldn't necessarily tell, but I mean, I could tell because of the way it was all set up. Just because I've been around a lot of those people, I guess. But it was a woman who was like in a fetal sort of position on the floor, on the ground. There was just a circle of people just like looking at this woman, and it looked like she was a black woman and she's naked. And then people were just coming over
and pissing on her.
Yeah, it made me feel sick for even now.
I saw it too. What is that about?
Oh, so you don't know what it was actually.
What the fuck was that about? Right? I thought it was racism.
Yeah, so the way it was going around was like, it was just like a racist thing, like it was like a black woman on the floor, on the ground, being pissed on, right?
Yeah.
What it actually was an art piece. The woman on the ground wasn't black. She's, I think she might be French, but anyway, she's not black. But she's covered herself in a kind of a body paint to make her look, but she calls it, it's to make her look like a stone. And then it's not to make her look like any particular skin color. It's about looking like a rock, just a piece of earth, right? And then people come over, but there are people watching her being dominated in this particular way. So it's a piece of art, and you think about it, you respond how you want to respond.
Disgusting.
It was disgusting, especially if you didn't know that.
I didn't know that. I saw it and I didn't know that, but that traumatized me.
Yeah.
I thought does the like quote unquote Neanderthalic white male have no bounds? Do they have they got no fucking shame?
But then a woman comes and stands over her and pisses
on her.
Yeah. It was disgusting. And I was so disgusted by it that I was like, why have I been kind of sent? I don't know how I was even sent it, but like, why would you send this to me to put this into my eyes and in my brain? It was disgusting.
I'm dead.
But even knowing what it actually was, it's still disgusting to me.
It's horrible. It's not nice to watch.
Yeah.
It's not nice to look at all. I've seen it, so I can concur. Yeah. You're just trying to stay quiet in the corner, innit? Tell me something no one knows about you. Tell me your deepest, darkest secrets.
Something that no one knows about me. There's things about me that at least 2 or 3 people know. Something that no one knows about me.
Yeah.
I'm not that closed off, to be honest. Give me an example.
Can you sing? I know you can sing. Something you've done in the shower, something you've done as a youth, something like, not many people know I'm in the Guinness Book of Records.
Seriously?
Yeah.
For what?
Having the most people in their underpants.
Having what? Having the most people
in the Guinness Book of Records 2010.
Yeah.
If you scroll through the page, I don't know what page it's on,
but
you see a picture of me. You can there's me and 2 other people. You see my face on that, like we're squeezing into a picture about it's not that big in the book.
Oh, right.
I've got a certificate. So basically, I was working for an underwear brand called Pants to Poverty.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of people to dress up to wear just only pants, underwear. So women had like underpants and pants on, men had underpants naked, and we ran through St Pancras Station for the Guinness Book of Records, and we was the first. That was the largest number that asked you to do it.
No.
There was the largest number, and then afterwards, it was in the news. It was in all the tabloids.
I didn't know you were involved.
I coordinated it.
I didn't realise.
You see what I mean? And you see how people are like the guy on that company, mate. I've done so much work. You know, I just work. I just worked, and I just didn't realise like my power. I just went, come on, you look, come here, you do this, you do that, you do that. I just worked, bro. So I'm in the Guinness Book of Records. Nice. Something like that. Something just random like that. Or you don't have to if you can't answer.
No, I
know someone else who didn't answer a question today. I know someone else. My fit hand drops. I know someone else.
Something that people don't know about me.
You do martial arts or something? You look like you're some sort of.
He's like a bad man. I told you he's in good shape. He's always been like this, fucker. We can't cuss. When he's young, he's like, yeah, don't worry. I'm just take a look at I'll just scratch my abs like naturally, like natural. I'll just like, yeah. No, I haven't got a 6-pack. No, I've got an 8-pack. Yeah, you remember the time I used to be so jealous? You remember I used to say, what the fuck? What the fuck? No, I'm packing now though.
Something I just like. Like people know everything about. There's always people.
All right, let's move on.
Move on from that one.
Your biggest inspiration. Oh, thank you. Why?
Obviously, yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, but you are actually a big inspiration to me. I
I like you, big.
Yeah, no,
God bless
seriously.
you. No, but let's be real though. Your biggest inspiration. No, it's not me.
My biggest.
Who is it?
Who's my biggest inspiration?
Yeah, your biggest inspiration. You can think back and say who did you when you was young? Who did you want to be like, or when you saw actors? What your biggest inspiration?
Do you know what? Actually, funny enough, I mean, there were so many different inspirations, like people that have inspired me, like literally, genuinely, including you.
God bless you.
But funny enough, you know, like I said, I wanted to be an architect from the age of 10. Actually, I remember the first time. Oh, this maybe answers two questions, because this is something that people wouldn't know about me. Like a lot of people don't know this because I never even remember to say it or think to say it. But funny enough, when I was really young, probably like 4 or 5 years old or something like that. You know, like kids are like, oh, I want to be a policeman. I want to be, you know,
I want to be a doctor.
Doctor.
And I hate blood right now. I hate blood.
Seriously?
I can't stand the sight of blood.
Seriously?
Me, blood, and the smell of piss and shit.
You can't stand it?
No way. I can't
be
stand
anywhere near around it.
No, if I'm near it, it bothers me, man. It's serious. It's really serious. On a cellular level.
Yeah. That's interesting. But yeah, so I was really young at that time when people whatever. I remember talking to my sister, and obviously, like I said, she's younger than me, like 18 months younger. And it would just come up like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I said, or maybe I said to her, do you want to know a secret type thing? Do you know what I want to be when I grow up? And she went, what? And I said, I didn't even know the word actor. I said, movie star.
Easy.
I want to be a movie star.
Yeah.
Come on. I was like, I want to be a movie star. And then she obviously was like, you what? And ran out and it was like telling my mum and dad, it was like, do you know what Ansu wants to be? And they were like, no, tell us. I was like, don't tell her. And they were like, no, tell us. Because he's, you know, and then I remember my dad being like, no, because we have to take these things seriously, because then you can work towards it and blah, 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 this, that, and the other. I must have been older than 5 anyway, whatever. And said, oh, a movie star. And then they just kind of were like,
I will pitch movie star from you.
Did not take it seriously.
Yeah.
But, so to answer the question about inspiration, I know for a fact that at that time, the reason I wanted to be a movie star was because of Tom Cruise. For some reason.
What film? Any film?
No, it wasn't any particular film, because I was too young to even know what films.
Cool,
like I must have probably watched, like, you know, at that time. Remember at that
Risky
time?
Business?
No, it would have been like Top Gun. It would have been Top Gun. The Top Gun is the one that I remember the most.
You're the same height as him at 5 anyway.
You're always ready. Always ready.
Tom. Sorry, Tom. I'm too tall for you, know.
But no, it was literally like that. He was my inspiration in that regard. And like obviously later on forgot that I wanted to be, because I was never interested in acting until we got to like 16. Not interested at all. I just thought it was a stupid thing to want to do. But at that time, at that young age, for whatever reason, I was like, yeah, I want to be a movie star. And he was the inspiration.
Your advice?
My vice.
To your younger self.
Oh, advice to younger self.
Your advice to your younger self.
Yeah. Advice to younger self: make mistakes. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. That's the most important thing to me. Is to say, don't be afraid to make mistakes, because you can only get better by making mistakes. And anytime, like I see, like my daughter or my stepson or any young person. But I mean, that is a risk. This is a risk. Like if you when you say there's something that you want to do, even if it's a small thing, but because you're afraid of failing, you don't do that thing. You don't take that risk. You know, you just don't do it, and you will never get good at that thing. You'll never achieve anything in that area.
You'll never know.
Yeah. And the thing is, I didn't realize, because like you always, like you say, who's your inspiration? I feel like growing up, they were always talking about all these great people. And when you hear about these great people, they sound perfect. But the great people, or the ones that weren't afraid of making mistakes, or maybe they were, but they always just went for it. They always just tried. They always tried the best, always tried. And by trying, you're going to fail. That's one of the things I admire about you, actually, is you're somebody who's got the energy to be in the world and actually try things and do things. And to try and make something of yourself, or whatever that may mean to you. It's hard, because you're like, you can't succeed until you fail 10 times, 20 times, 40 times.
A couple more times to fail, didn't I?
You what, sorry?
I've got a few more times to fail then.
Oh, you know. Like, even when you achieve something, then you got to say, all right, then what's the next thing that I want to achieve to bump up from that level? And you got to keep on failing again. So it's like 1 step forward, 10 steps back.
Yeah.
You got to keep on failing. But you have to always be brave enough to fail. And to know that failing is it doesn't mean that you are a failure. It doesn't mean that you are a bad person. And it's not a question of worrying about what people think of you because you failed. You have to just let go of that. It's hard, but I would definitely say, because there's so many things I could have achieved and become at this point. Not that I regret my life, but because it's like it's not like I'm unhappy with where I am, but I do definitely feel like if you know that you have to fail before you can succeed.
Fail,
so much.
Fall down, bust your lip, everything, do it all. Try.
You have to.
Nice, I like that.
Go for your dreams.
What do you say?
Yeah, but yeah.
What do you say?
He said, "Go for your dreams." It was bringing it back on me from the beginning of the conversation.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna give you 3 questions, yeah.
Yeah.
And you can give me 1, yeah. So pause. Yeah, you said that. If you had 1 wish, what would it be?
If I had 1 wish, what would it be?
Yeah.
I wish I knew how to speak Arabic properly.
Nice. Nice. Shukran. Afwan.
Shukran, yeah.
Afwan.
Afwan?
Yeah.
What's Afwan?
You say shukran, you say afwan. I said it wrong?
Oh, I don't know. Is that what you say? Afwan?
I think so.
What does it mean?
You say shukran means thank you. Afwan must mean you're welcome. Does your wife speak it?
Probably. Oh, yeah.
So she ask her to say to her shukran, and then you see, because I try to learn what I can, inshallah, what I can learn, you know?
Yeah. No, I'm bad with languages, but yeah, I need to actually.
I'm all right with languages. We will grant that wish. Allah will grant you that wish to learn Arabic. How do you see the world?
How do I see the world?
Yeah.
Interesting question. I guess there's so many things, but the thing now that's kind of bothering me is that when I look at the world, I feel like there's good and there's bad. But I feel a lot of people look at the world and see a lot of negative. And it makes me sad, actually, that people see so much negative in the world, because there's a way of looking at negative and seeing it as positive, but I don't think it's an easy thing to do, and I think a lot of people don't know that it's necessary to do. I don't think a lot of people know how to do it, even if they think it's something that's necessary to do.
So you look at the world, you see the negatives, but you try to see the positive in all the negatives, you're saying?
Yeah, but also that there are positives, that there are actually positives. I think people genuinely don't see that there are positive things.
Positives in general, just
in general, in the world, in people, in human beings. Like oftentimes people will say will say the most negative things about what they're seeing in front of them, what they're receiving or whatever, their experiences in the world. And I'm just like, but I don't think they realise how negative they're or that they're even being negative, because they're just experiencing, right? Fair enough. But actually, if you looked at yourself, like really looked at yourself, you'd be like, oh, that's a really negative outlook. Is there another way I can see the exact same thing? Is there another way I can actually look at it and take it into myself?
Check yourself before you wreck yourself.
You could say that.
Take a good friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, I won't say his name, but he'll know who he is if he watches the show, but I don't think he does. He's taking a fucking time. Anyway, he says, take a look in the mirror, look at yourself in the mirror. And hold your gaze for as long as you can. First a minute, then 2, then 3, then 4, generally. But a lot of people can't stand the sight of themselves.
A lot of people can't stand it. That's a good way of putting it.
So you have to be able to look at yourself, can't?
Yeah, but it's interesting because like a lot of people, when you first started saying that, I was like, well, a lot of people think that they look at themselves.
They don't.
But they don't.
They don't.
And then you said they can't stand the sight of themselves. They can't. Because people do genuinely hate themselves.
They can't, and they know. And so what I pose it to you people at home, like my learned friend, my brother. Hey, Akhi. He said, I've forgotten. Oh, that's it. He uses his eyes to see the good and not the bad in the world. So take your time and look at yourself, because only you know, and I'm looking at the wall just to emphasize what's up. Let me look at you in the camera. Only you know what you've done and what you haven't done. So when you're looking in that mirror, you can see your skeletons, because they're not in the closet. They're staring right back at you. And I think that's what the problem is. But understand the skeletons don't define you. You've passed this stuff and you're bigger and you're better and you're stronger than that. And you'll have other stuff to pass later on. And it's going to be you that's passing it. So you have to be able to look yourself in the face, look yourself in the eye and say, yes, I'm going to try. And see the goodness inside you, because there's goodness inside you. Wallahi.
The interesting thing is that, like you, as you say, that you have to look at yourself and you know what the skeletons are.
You can see them, they're not hidden.
The problem is a lot of people can't forgive themselves. That's the real problem. I know exactly.
Keep the gauge. That's what I'm saying. Keep the gauge. Because the longer you keep the gauge, you realise that although you've done these things, those skeletons don't define you.
Yeah.
And every human's got fucking skeletons. So just because you like, look at yourself, tell yourself who you are, see the good in you, understand that, believe in yourself.
Yeah. Because those skeletons only define you if you intend to keep on doing them.
Yeah, or if you allow them to be problems for you, like be honest with yourself.
If you just try to say, because you're going to make mistakes, you're going to do bad things. Because you're human. If you say to yourself, I'm going to try not to, at least that's a good.
And then if you try, you look at yourself and say, I tried. Yes, you did try.
Which means you can forgive yourself.
You can forgive. Try harder next time. Try harder next time. If you don't forgive yourself, you're fucked.
Yeah, completely. Seriously,
this is something I've had to deal with. I had to forgive myself on some different spectrums, and people try and tell you you're this and tell you you're that, and you go away thinking, am I this? Am I that? No, you're not. You're what you tell yourself you are.
100%.
And you're you. 100%. And it's hard, man.
It is.
It's what you said about looking and seeing the good and all that. It's very, very, very important. It's fundamental.
It's fundamental, but it is difficult.
It's very hard.
When you're talking about because you bring up you took it to a really interesting, like an important place. In that people do genuinely hate themselves, cannot forgive themselves, and they might try to convince themselves that they love themselves, but they're not convinced even to themselves.
And they're reinstated by the TV and all that stuff. All that hatred is gone. Sorry, Ansu.
Yeah. No, I'm agreeing. And you do have to be able to look at yourself and actually say, I have done this, but I forgive myself, and I'm going to be better. I intend to be better, and I'm going to try my hardest to be better. And you've got to love the fact that you at least even have those intentions, but to actually be able to look at yourself, see the bad, and still look at yourself and see positive is difficult. It's hard. I'm not saying
it's something. It's something that's necessary. And if we're going to close up, you can ask me something after this. I'm not going to ask no more questions in the book. For me, it's just become apparent to me. It's something that's necessary for people to progress in life. And when you don't, you find yourself either being manipulated by people, self-medicating, or doing stuff that doesn't stay in places, whether it's a relationship, a job, or whatever, that you're not supposed to be in because of your lack of self-confidence or your magnitude of self-hate. You end up staying in these things, but you don't need to.
You don't need to.
And if once you make that, just that little tweak, look at yourself, make that change, you go stronger as you go on.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what we need. And then it leads to happiness. Because you start living that life, that clean life, where you're doing things that are right. I want to give it to you right now, but alcohol and weed and all other drugs and sex before marriage is haram for a reason.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. You find out in your own life, and just because I'm saying haram and using the Muslim word doesn't mean that it's bad. It means bad. And these things are bad for a reason. Do your own research. Think about what's happened when you've done certain things. God bless you, man. I love you. Love yourself. Love life. Ansu, ask me a question, because I'm done now. You ask me whatever you want to ask me.
Yeah, well, because I need to go and pray, but still.
Yeah. Ask whatever you want to ask me, then we'll last one.
What I was going to ask, actually.
No questions for you.
Based on on what you were just saying, you said about forgiving yourself.
Yeah.
You said you faced that as a challenge in your own life. And
still am.
And and that you find it very hard. But do you find it easier now than you ever did?
Yeah.
Okay, so how did you get to a point where it's now easier?
I got to a point where it's easier because I've made so many mistakes, and when I thought that whatever mistake I made at a particular time in my life was the end, was the pinnacle of mistakes, was meant I wasn't going further. When everyone around me told me, you ain't shit, you're a waste man, you done that, no, your kids will never fucking love you, you'll never work, you'll never, it was all fucking bullshit. It was all, because if you live on, life goes on, by definition. So you can't harp everything on something that's happened in the past or something that may happen in the future. be honest with yourself that you what things you've passed. Be honest with yourself of your demons or your whatever's on your shoulder. But then pat yourself on the back too, because you made it this far. So my thing is, I know what I've done, but I know what I've come through. I know what could be coming. And so if I've come through this stuff, now when certain things happen, they don't have as much power or gravitas or strength, because it's down to me whether I invest in them, take them on board, give them energy or not. And that's where I've come to, Ansu. Like, some things I can't help. Like, when it comes to family and stuff, my heart it's like in a vice. You can twist it. It's twisted all different ways. Some things I can't do anything about. But the things I can do stuff about, I do. And the ones I can't do, I've learned to try my best to accept them. I'm not all the way there. I still go counselling, but I'm trying my best to accept them. And I don't think any human being, anybody, just try and be the better version of yourself. It sounds cliche, but even in trying that, you find you can look yourself in the mirror a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Doesn't matter what you look like, doesn't matter how big, skinny, fat, fit, whatever. Doesn't matter. It just matters, like, your spirit. Whether you know you're getting up and having that, you know you're doing good. If you're having a diet, okay, no chips today. I don't care if you eat chocolate and have Coke. You know what I mean? If you're stopping smoking, taking drugs or whatever, cut down. Ask for help. There's nothing wrong with asking for help. Seek help. You can't do it all on your own all the time. And then, but also be careful who you ask for help, because you know your enemies and you know your allies. And sometimes it's better to just to let a stranger in than allow somebody who's been there constantly to keep fucking crucifying you. Just, we're getting onto another spectrum of conversation now, but this is from the heart. Do you know what I mean? This is how I feel. And life too much is manipulated by people outside who's not in it, who don't want who haven't got your greater good at heart. That's why that Musai, amazing. Amazing. Just for what it offers, amazing. And you need more of that. Be able to have that, be able to go to a place and know you're dealing with genuine people who do as they say as they do, whatever it may be.
The thing is, I actually
you need to go.
But like so many things that you said that I would love to be able to.
You know what? I want to get you and your wife on as a collective anyway.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
She says she wants to do it as well. If we can arrange that, then we can digress. I'll give you like 3 hours between. We can have another conversation.
Yeah.
Let's arrange that, because I want to put it in after this, but obviously we can't because time don't allow.
Yeah.
This is Life Talks with my great friend Ansu. The actor, amazing actor. Look at the smile on his face. Come on. Mashallah, Allah loves him. I love him. Wife loves him. Oh, so you know the tune now. You're a wizard. And I'm Ayo Fawole. We're in Real Focus. This is the Ayo Fawole podcast, but Real Focus podcast. So no days off. Go and check that out as well, please. My homie's doing big things out there, yeah? Love.